I call to order both the closed session meeting and the special closed session meeting of the Mayor and City Council at 4 p.m. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here, and thank you to those viewing remotely. Madam City Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Here.
Councilmember Ibarra. Here. Councilmember Figueroa.
Here.
Councilmember Charette. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Canas has not yet arrived. Councilmember Flores.
Present.
Councilmember Ortiz. Here. And Mayor Tran.
Here. Thank you. Moving on to public comments for closed session. Due to the convening both the closed session meeting and the special closed session meeting of the Mayor and City Council simultaneously, public comments for both meetings will be heard at this time. Madam City Clerk, do you have any comments from the public? None? Okay. Are there any comments from the City Attorney?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the City Council? No? All right, we now convene to closed session at 4:01 p.m. Good evening, everyone. Welcome and thank you for being here, and thank you to those who are viewing remotely. I call to order this joint regular meeting of the Mayor and City Council and the Mayor and City Council acting as the successor agency to the Redevelopment Agency of the City of San Bernardino, the San Bernardino City Housing Authority, and as the San Bernardino Joint Powers Finance Authority at 5:07 p.m. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Here.
Councilmember Ibarra.
Present.
Councilmember Figueroa.
Here.
Councilmember Charette.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Canas.
Here.
Councilmember Flores.
Present.
Councilmember Ortiz.
Here.
And Mayor Tran.
Here, thank you. We will now move on to invocation and pledge. I have Pastor Jessica Alexander from Grace Chapel of San Bernardino will lead tonight's invocation. Please approach the podium at this time. And Brisa Hernandez Garcia from Middle College High School will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please approach the podium. Please all rise.
Thank you so much. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight in gratitude for the privilege of gathering together in service to this community. We thank you for the city of San Bernardino and the opportunity to steward its future. We pray for its leadership, and we lift up the mayor, the city council members, and the staff. We ask for your divine wisdom, discernment, and integrity in their decision-making tonight. As Scripture instructs us in James, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. So, Lord, please grant them the courage to do what is right, serving with compassion and foresight for the common good. Father, we pray for this meeting tonight, and may we not be governed by frustration or division, but by the spirit of cooperation. And we recall the invitation in Isaiah 1:18, "Come now, let us reason together," says the Lord. Help us to act with humility and to truly listen to one another so that our discussions are constructive and our actions bring healing and progress to this great city. We pray for the youth of this city that they may be protected, mentored, and empowered to fulfill their potential as the leaders of tomorrow. And we ask for continued progress, for economic vitality, and for safe neighborhoods. We pray for the well-being of every resident of San Bernardino, that this city would be a beacon of hope and opportunity. And during this Women's History Month, we pause to honor the women, past and present, whose courage, wisdom, and resilience have shaped our families and our nation. We thank you for these leaders, these mentors, and also the quiet prayer warriors among us. So now in closing, I pray that the decisions made here tonight honor you, serving as a positive example for future generations, and we commit this meeting to you, Lord. In your holy name, Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Pastor Jessica Alexander, and thank you, Brisa Hernandez. Thank you. We will now have closed session report. Mr. City Attorney, is there anything to report from closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. The mayor and council met in closed session to discuss the one item on the closed session of the special meeting. And of the two items listed under closed session for the regular meeting, the mayor and council only discussed item B, which is the existing litigation in National Prescription Opiate Litigation, United States District Court, Northern District of Ohio Eastern Division, MDL number 2804, case number 117 MD 2804. On that case, the council did vote unanimously to approve a settlement agreement to receive money in the amount of $19,000. And there are no other reportable items. That concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're on the same page. And I did want to mention that for item A, public employee performance evaluation, that was not discussed, and it was continued out to a future date. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I am now adjourning this special closed session meeting at 5:12, And we'll now continue with our regular open session meeting. Next is presentations. We have 3 presentations today. Council, will you join me to the front of the stage? The first one, we will have certificates of recognition for San Bernardino High School Girls Water Polo Team 2026 CIF Southern Section Division 5 Championship. Presented to San Bernardino High School Girls Water Polo Team, coaches and staff. Please all come on stage, please. The team, council, let's join them.
My assistants are not here.
And then I'll give this to you. And then I'll say the rest of the team, right? So it's Anna, Patrick, and you. Wow, look at that. Okay, so Coach, join me. So we have Coach Jason Mendoza here. Please a round of applause for coaching our girls. And Anna Sosa, our principal, is she here? She's not here, she's here in spirit. And Patrick Mills, our athletic director. Come on stage. No, you can join us. We're here as a team. And then we have certificates for each and every one of you girls, okay? So thank you and then the coach has it right here. In recognition, so we want to recognize your accomplishment. From myself, the mayor, and the entire city council here standing with you.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. In recognition of your exceptional leadership, guidance, and commitment to student, athlete success, your dedication to excellence, teamwork, and sportsmanship has played a vital role in supporting and inspiring the achievement of the San Bernardino High School Girls Water Polo Team. And we recognize you, Patrick Mills. This is your certificate right here. You're welcome. And Coach Jason Mendoza, we recognize you for your exceptional leadership in coaching the girls. I love the cheerleader right here. And this is for our girls. So let me get you. And I want to recognize, and these are all the girls, right?
Correct.
Okay. To all of you, each and every one of you standing here, a recognition of your outstanding achievement, dedication, teamwork, and perseverance throughout the 2026 season. Your hard work and commitment to excellence have brought great pride to San Bernardino High School and the city of San Bernardino. Your accomplishment is an inspiration to our community and a testament to the power of discipline, unity, and determination. Presented on this day, March 18th, 2026. Congratulations to you all. Big round of applause. And keep up the great work. You guys are our leaders in our community.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about it now?
Yeah, I can.
Patrick, would you like to say a few words? Coach? Come on, Coach.
I just want to thank everyone here, friends, family, and everyone along. We have great pride in our city, especially being the namesake of our city, San Bernardino High School. We just love our city and we love our high school.
Thank you, Coach.
Sure, real quick. What I'd like to say is the girls really embody San Bernardino High School. They work from last year when we weren't allowed to get in the playoffs for a reason. It was really bad. They said their goal was to win a championship, and they did it. But what I loved most about them was the hard work they put in. And in the toughest games of CIF, we were down a lot, 6-1 at one point. Nobody thought we were going to win except us. We thought we were going to come back. And true to their character, no matter how down they ever got, they always kept fighting and coming back to win it. And so that is a testament to these girls. They're going to know that lesson for the rest of their life. They're going to use that to be successful like the other graduates of San Bernardino High School have. I can't be more proud of them and the coach and of our city. When we go places, we are San Bernardino High School, and we are San Bernardino. And, you know, some people want to say stuff about us like that, but when we get done beating them in the water, it's a great accomplishment because we are proud to be from San Bernardino. So thank you.
Thank you, San Bernardino Pride. So I'm going to give you these certificates. We're going to take quick pictures as a team, so let's all sideways. Okay. This way. So you're going to look this way. You're in the middle. And now we're going to look this way. Okay. So come on, Coach Jordan. Look this way. Okay. So I'm going to squeeze in, and then Coach can squeeze in. Everyone squeezing in? Thank you, thank you. Big round of applause to all the girls and the coaches and the leaders.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys are good? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great job, great job.
Oh, yeah. You guys got our stuff? You're going to see what we want to build.
Oh. Oh, yes.
If I may, I am an alumni of San Bernardino High School. I think I'm the only one on the dais that is. And I'm not going to tell you what year, what class. But I think of course, Al Palazzo in the audience. And Jim, I don't know if you went to San Bernardino High School or not. You went to Pacific, didn't you? What? In San Bernardino High School. So there's 2 or 3 of us in the here that are all alumni, and we're all so very proud of you. I'm proud of my mother. She was the class of 1933. So I just had to say that. So we're Cardinals through and through. Thank you, Mayor.
No, you're welcome. Cardinal Pride right here. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Council. We will move on to the second presentation, Proclamation of Government Finance Professionals Week in the City of San Bernardino, March 23rd to 27th, 2026, presented to the City San Bernardino Finance Department. Where are you at? All come up. All right. These are the money folks, very important folks in our city. We have the proclamation of the Mayor and City Council proclaiming March 23rd to 27th, 2026 as Government Finance Professionals Week in the city of San Bernardino. Whereas government finance professionals ensure transparency, accountability, and responsible stewardship of public funds while managing complex budgets, financial reporting, and long-term fiscal sustainability. And whereas California's challenging fiscal environment requires expert analysis, ethical leadership, and sound financial practices to support informed policy decisions and essential public services. And whereas the City of San Bernardino's finance staff consistently demonstrate these principles through their professionalism and commitment to fiscal excellence. And whereas the City of San Bernardino has earned the GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for 5 consecutive years, 2020 to 2025, and the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, 2021 to 2024, reflecting the high quality of the city's financial practices. And whereas the city's grants division has successfully secured 8 grants totaling $13.5 million in the past year, and expanding resources to better serve the San Bernardino community, and whereas recognizing Government Finance Professionals Week during the last week of March provides an opportunity to honor these dedicated public servants. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and City Council of the City of San Bernardino do hereby recognize March 23rd to 27th, 2026 as Government Finance Professionals Week and commend the city's Finance Department and Grants Division for their outstanding service and contributions. Presented on this 18th day of March 2026. Round of applause.
Well, thank you, everyone. Just to say a few words, this is an amazing team that we have in the finance department. Every paycheck that an employee gets, every vendor that's paid, every business that we have that has a compliant license, every budget you see before you, every revenue that's collected, that's this team here. There's some that couldn't make it, but they're here in spirit. We're a hardworking team. We try to do it transparently. We're here doing it ethically to serve the community and its residents, and we do it proudly, and we achieve awards along the way because good work and hard work always gets recognized. So thank you to the staff, and thank you to the Honorable Mayor and Council for this recognition.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and serving this community and our residents. Thank you. Big round of applause again. Okay. Oh. I see you, Blue. All right, the next presentation, the last presentation, is the proclamation of San Bernardino Valley College Day in the city of San Bernardino in honor of their 100th anniversary, March 26, 2026. And I would like to ask President Dr. Gilbert Contreras, Keith Bacon, Vice President of the Administrative Services, Letitia Hector, Vice President of Instruction, Yvonne Gutierrez Sandoval, Vice President of Student Services, Gabriel Martinez, Acting Dean of Research, Planning, and Institutional Effectiveness, Michael Lane, Executive Director of the San Bernardino Valley College Foundation, Tammy Mathis, Director of Grants, and Blue, the SBVC Wolverine mascot. And anyone else who's here, come up on stage with us. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Are you gonna? Okay. Okay, Blue. Excited, Blue? Yeah? All right. So, proclamation of the Mayor and City Council proclaiming March 26, 2026 as San Bernardino Valley College Day in honor of their 100th anniversary in the city of San Bernardino. Whereas San Bernardino Valley College was founded in 1926 as the first purpose-built community college campus in the state of California and one of the first purpose-built community college campuses in the nation, establishing a model for accessible higher education designed specifically to serve the needs of its community. And whereas for 100 years, SBVC has served the city of San Bernardino and the Inland Empire as a comprehensive community college committed to access, opportunity, and student success. And whereas throughout its history, SBVC has been a pioneer in expanding educational opportunity, including launching the Inland Empire's first public nursing program, becoming the first college in California to carry the name Valley College, establishing California's first Dreamers Resource Center at a community college, and being among the first institutions in the nation recognized as a Black serving institution. And whereas SBVC has educated generations of Inland Empire residents, including civic leaders, educators, healthcare professionals, public safety personnel, entrepreneurs, and community advocates who have helped shape the city of San Bernardino and the region. And whereas SBVC continues to advance workforce development, university transfer pathways, and career technical education programs that prepare students for careers that strengthen the regional economy. And whereas SBVC's commitment to diversity, equity, and community engagement reflects the strength and resilience of the Inland Empire and ensures that students from all backgrounds have the opportunity to succeed. And whereas the celebration of SBVC's centennial honors a century of educational excellence while reaffirming the college's mission to uplift students, strengthen families, advance community, and contribute to the economic vitality of the region for the next 100 years. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the entire city council of the city of San Bernardino do hereby recognizes and celebrates the 100th anniversary of San Bernardino Valley College, commends the college for its enduring legacy of service, leadership, and impact in our community, and proclaims March 26, 2026 as Valley College Day in the city of San Bernardino, presented this 18th day of March 2026. Yes, big round of applause. That was a lot.
As president of San Bernardino Valley College, my name is Dr. Gilbert Contreras. I just really want to say thank you to Mayor Helen Tran, the entire city council, the city of San Bernardino, for this huge honor as we celebrate 100 years. It takes about 100 seconds to realize how much the community means to San Bernardino Valley College and how much San Bernardino Valley College means to the community. We accept the top 100%. Our doors are open to everyone who wants to seek opportunity through education. And it's so exciting to be at San Bernardino Valley College at this time as we celebrate 100 years. You heard our tradition, our legacy of serving the community and providing opportunity for everyone who seeks education. And at this time, to be president of San Bernardino Valley College, it's really special as we elevate our standards of excellence. I invite all of you to celebrate with us this upcoming Thursday. We're going to sing Happy Birthday at the college at 12:45. Blue will be there. So on behalf of our nearly 17,000 students, more than 1,000 employees, and 100 years of community, thank you for the opportunity and for entrusting us to serve and educate this community. And as we enter our second century, please join us as we elevate those standards for everyone. And we're starting a new tradition. We say, go Valley. Valley up. We all respond, Valley up, because we're launching. Go Valley.
Valley up. Let's take a picture with the Valley Up sign, right? All right, another big round of applause to all of those great success today for all those 3 presentations. Thank you so much, everyone. Another round of applause, please. And Blue, thank you for leaving your blueprint here with us for this council meeting. Thank you. Moving on to public hearing. Item number 4, continuation of public hearing from February 18th, 2026, introduced for first reading ordinance number MC 1660, adopting a regulatory program for short-term rentals, or introduced for first reading ordinance number MC 1661, banning short-term rentals in the city of San Bernardino. The public hearing was opened on February 18th, 2026 at 5:59 p.m. Could staff provide an updated presentation on this item?
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. This item was continued from about a month ago when we brought this project in front of you. Now, if you want me to go into the slide presentation, I can, but I would rather just summarize what we've done since the last time you saw this, or if you had any specific questions. At the last City Council meeting,
One moment. Councilor Ortiz, did you have a question?
I would actually, for the public's, as well as our, put the presentation up. You can summarize, but at least they can see it visually.
okay,
Thank
good.
you.
That's fine. IT? You don't have it?
Mayor, if I may.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yeah, I would encourage my colleagues that if that's a request you guys want to make, that we make sure that we coordinate with staff before that.
Well, I mean,
So-
it's supposed to be in the
well,
agenda
I mean,
material.
I assume that this was already in the system, and you just have to pull it from the last City Council meeting, because it's already there. It's not a new presentation. So if you can go back into the archives. But I can, I have a hard copy that I can go by, so, but unfortunately, it's not displayed. But if we went back to the February 18, thereabouts, presentation, it's the short-term rentals. It's not that one. It would be, yeah, that's it. So I'm just going to build on top of this presentation. When we brought this before you, we gave you a background that in 2023, Planning Commission, by a resolution, forwarded a recommendation to the City Council to approve Development Code Amendment, which would memorialize the land use into our zoning code and would also regulate our short-term rentals. On February 21, 2024, we present a recommendation to the Mayor and City Council. At that meeting, Council directed staff to conduct additional analysis. You have that in front of you today. And then on June 15, 2024, when we brought that item back to the City Council, Council decided to ban short-term rentals. So at the last meeting, we brought, so after the City Council ban on short-term rentals, we took the item back to the Planning Commission, informing them that the City Council has actually banned short-term rentals. The Planning Commission, by resolution, and I think it was a unanimous vote, decided that they did not want to ban short-term rentals, they wanted to regulate it. So we brought the regulation back to the City Council at your last meeting. A lot of it is just kind of just background information. And we talked about advantages and disadvantages of banning our short-term rentals. When we presented that to the City Council, there was a lot of questions regarding what are some of the terms of the ban, and how do we collect TOT? What do other communities do? So in your current staff report, you would actually find the analysis that was done that shows what other communities were doing. It is on there's a table in your staff report that actually shows what other communities are doing. And if I remember correctly, there was also a question about how we actually monitor this. We're going to use Deckard technology to do the monitoring, and we identified a certain dollar amount, and council wanted to know whether Deckard would actually honor that agreement. In this report, you've been informed that Deckard would honor that dollar amount. So, but in order for us to either ban or regulate, we first have to adopt the standards into our zoning code. So that means we have to amend Section 190250. We have to define what this is, and then we have to either allow it or ban it, depending on what the city council really would like to do. Another option we gave the city council was to do nothing, which means don't do anything, either regulate or ban, just leave things the way they are. I do not believe that that is a good direction to go, because I think we have an opportunity to determine whether or not this is something that's good for the city. If we decide to either regulate or ban, there was a question regarding transient occupancy taxes, whether we're able to collect them. The answer is yes. There are other, I think like Airbnb has the opportunity to collect taxes from those who register with them and remit that directly to the city, or the city can go through collecting 10% or whatever the rental is for those facilities. Now, this is something that Deckard will be able to do. They would identify who is advertising on some of these websites, Vrbo, Airbnb, or you name it, then they would let us know who they are. So the first thing we would do once we get that information is we would now send a letter out to them, and we're going to say, okay, we understand you are conducting this activity, and we would inform them whether A, City Council has banned the activity, or B, that the activity is being regulated and they have to come in and register and pay fees and so on and so forth. So on that table that you have, it shows how other agencies are regulating them. I think we have Palm Springs on that list. This is not in the slide, by the way, because I did not update the slide, but it's in your staff report. How much is being paid to register? How much are the fines if you are in violation of that use, et cetera, et cetera. And then I also provided you information that indicates that the number of calls that we've received, that it's documented. There are 5 properties that have been problematic in the city over the last 4 years. Of those 5, 3 of them are on the same street. So I don't know whether or not that particular street has propensity for registering or using Airbnb, short-term rentals or not. But as I was saying earlier, if we decide to, whatever direction we decide to go, the ordinance that we're requesting the city to do will amend the code section that I identified earlier, and then, within 30 days, there will be an adoption of the resolution itself. Let me see if there's anything. As far as general plan goals and objectives, by the City of San Bernardino general plan includes goals and policies to guide future housing development as follows. Land use goal 2.1, preserve and enhance San Bernardino's unique neighborhoods, and then promote development that integrates with and minimizes impacts on surrounding land uses. I mean, you can use either finding either way as far as whether the city wants to go with banning short-term rentals or regulating short-term rentals. As far as the Environmental Quality Act is concerned, it is exempt under CEQA. So we didn't have to produce a CEQA documentation on this project. The fiscal impacts, I think, is one area where I think might be of interest to the City Council. When we brought this to you initially, what we were told is we have the opportunity to collect at least $324,000 out of this whole ththis is just for certain types of operation and in TOTs. Now, we don't know exactly how many we'll have to register if we decide to regulate them, but what Deca Technology is doing is they will advise us of who those people are. And then I talked about the fees that it would cost the city. This is their contract. It's going to cost us this amount of money. I think it's $16,500 for them to continuously monitor this activity in the city. And then, the recommendations we had before and that we have now is hold a public hearing, introduce and read by title only, and waive further readings of ordinance number MC 1640, either banning short-term rentals or regulating short-term rentals. And, recommendations are one or the other. And then, if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak from the members of the public?
We have 2 requests to speak for this hearing. Ron Alvarado and Eric Menza.
Please state your name. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ron Alvarado. I am a resident of the 1st Ward and a candidate for City Council. Tonight, we are addressing a fundamental question about the character of our neighborhoods. Do we regulate or do we ban short-term rentals through Ordinance MC 1660 or MC 1661? Regardless of which path this council chooses, the primary concern for residents of San Bernardino is administrative capacity and enforcement. We have a long history in this city of passing ordinances that look good on paper but fail in the streets because we lack the personnel or the will to enforce them. If this council moves forward with a regulatory program under MC 1660, it cannot be an honor system. As someone who spends every day investigating compliance and fraud, I know that without a rigorous audit trail and proactive code enforcement, regulation is just a suggestion. We cannot allow our residential streets to be converted into unsupervised commercial zones that bring noise, traffic, and a revolving door of strangers into our quiet neighborhoods. If the city cannot guarantee a robust 24/7 enforcement mechanism that holds property owners accountable for the behavior of their guests, then a ban under MC 1661 may be the only way to protect our housing stock for actual residents. We are in a housing crisis, and every home converted into a hotel is a home taken away from a San Bernardino family. I urge the council to be honest with the public tonight. Do we have the administrative staff to actually monitor these rentals? Or are we just adding another layer of bureaucracy that will leave neighbors feeling unheard for another 16 years? Let's prioritize peace and security of our residents over the interests of out-of-town investors. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name. You have 3 minutes. You can turn on your mic, please, sir. Turn on your mic. There's a button right there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is Eric Meza. I'm a local resident, small business owner, and responsible for short-term rental host here in San Bernardino. I'm also a barber and a self-care service provider in this community. I'm here today to respectfully ask that you protect the ability of the homeowners, like myself, to continue operating short-term rentals responsibly. Short-term rentals are not just about extra income. They're about a larger ecosystem that they support local jobs, small businesses, as myself, cleaners, maintenance workers, and nearby restaurants, shops, and self-care services. Guests who stay in our homes spend money in our city, contributing directly to our local economy. As a host, I take safety, compliance, community impact very seriously. I enforce strict house rules, including no parties, quiet hours, and occupancy limits. I also use tools like noise monitoring to prevent disturbances before they happen. Many of us hosts are actively working with the community, not against it. I understand that there are concerns, they are valid. However, the solution is not to eliminate short-term rentals altogether. The solution is reasonable regulation and proper enforcement against bad actors while allowing responsible hosts to continue operating. A full ban overly restrictive policies would hurt local homeowners, as myself, reduce tourism revenue, and push the activity underground, where it becomes harder to regulate, not easier. I urge you to consider policies that hold irresponsible operators accountable, protect neighborhood quality of life, preserve opportunities for responsible hosts. We're not corporations. We are your neighbors, your constitutions, and small business owners, as myself. To make a living while contributing positively to this city, short-term rentals are also generated additional revenue for the city and county and taxes. Just like any small business, that income circulates back into the local economy, especially at a time when the cost of living continues to rise. On a personal note, I help to take care of my mother, and I take full responsibility seriously as I'm the only male in my family. It's my duty to step up, work hard, and make a meaningful impact into this community and into this county, for my family, but for my community as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There are no more speakers for this hearing. We did also receive written comments for the item, and those have been provided to the council.
Thank you. I am now closing the public hearing at 5:50 p.m. for deliberation and action. Do you have any comments and discussions or comments from the council? Councilmember Ibarra, followed by Councilmember Charette, followed by Ortiz, followed by Councilmember Sanchez. Yes, Mr. City Manager?
Madam Mayor and Council, if you decide to go with the regulatory, because there's a regulatory or ban, if you decide to go with the regulatory, I'd recommend continuing it to the 15th so that we would be able to make sure that all the regulations that you had asked for from the previous, it was continued to this specific date. Community Development didn't have time to get them all in there, and if you wanted to do that just to make sure that they're all in there, I would recommend you continue it to the 15th.
Make the motion.
Close the public hearing and continue to the 15th.
Thank you. There's a motion to continue this item to April 15th.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. There's a second. Madam City Clerk?
The motion is to continue this item to April 15th. Councilmember Sanchez?
You know what, before that, I do have a comment. I wouldn't want to put staff through more work if, at the end of the day, this council is going to ban. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take a straw poll of whether any of my council colleagues are going to entertain a ban. Because if that's the case, then we shouldn't send staff. We've already done this before. They brought forward a regulatory apparatus. They spent 8 months working on it. They brought it back to us, and then we pushed a ban. So as opposed to a vote on this, I'd prefer that we do a straw poll to make sure that there won't be the votes for a ban. Can we do that?
That has to be substitute motion.
No, I want, yeah. No, because I want a straw poll. I don't want us to vote right now, yes, no. I need to know before we move forward with this.
Thank you, Councilmember. Mr. City Attorney, can you weigh in on this?
You certainly can do that, Mayor, to do a straw poll to see whether, what it is. If you don't want to affirmatively kill the item by adopting the ordinance to ban, you can use a straw poll to see, where the council is on it.
Mayor?
Councilmember Charette?
If I may, I'll answer that question for myself. I am still leaning towards a full ban. So if that's a vote for banning of the straw poll, I'll be the first one to say that. But I'm willing to talk more about it. If we've got more regulations coming back that are more detailed, I thought we would have all of those. I'm willing to continue the item as well, but I'm still leaning towards a full ban.
Okay, Councilmember Ortiz?
I am too. I'm actually disappointed, and I don't understand why all the information isn't available to us. I thought that was the point, is that we were going to bring this back so that we could have a full-fledged discussion, and here we are again, which to me is a waste of time, but I still do support a potential ban.
Mayor?
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes, and I know for me, I had asked for the last meeting for an updated contract proposal from Deckard, and once again, it's the one from the previous meeting. So I would appreciate a more updated information, and I'm all for regulatory, but as long as we have proper and correct information presented to us and the public, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Councilmember Sanchez, did you have a question?
Staff did clarify that Deckard was willing to honor the contract and any contract amendments. This is a software program, so the work of regulation is not that laborious that it would significantly alter that contract. And I believe staff clarified that fact. So if there are any other sticking points as to what you don't see in this proposal that you would like to see that would potentially change your mind, I would ask my colleagues identify those amendments they would like to see come forward that could potentially change their vote on this.
We're going to do the poll, so Mayor Pro Tem?
I am not in favor of a ban.
Thank you. Councilmember Figueroa?
I have questions, but look, whether we go with a full ban or one of the other options, there's still going to be a cost associated with this. And so if we do go with a ban, I would like to see how do we even enforce this, right? Because potentially there's a cost of about, I just lost the figure, I think it was like 20, what's the total cost? Just to monitor this?
To monitor it, it's about 16.5 annually, and if we go really comprehensive, for them to monitor the use and the TOT, if we go less, if we just do the monitoring the use, it's a lower cost than that, and I think that's about $7,000.
And that doesn't even take into consideration the code enforcement aspect to it either, right? And so I'm looking at how do we fund that cost, right? Because I can point to other parts of the city where funds are being used for code enforcement purposes for cannabis, for example, right? Yeah. A certain amount of that fund goes for enforcement, but yet we still see illegal shops everywhere. Of course, that's more complicated than this. Right. And so I don't want to compare, they're not, they're apples and oranges here, but I just wanted to make it clear, where is this revenue going to come from to enforce this if we do a full ban as well?
So, Councilmember Figueroa, if you, so Table 1 in the staff report actually identifies some of these issues that have been discussed. What are other jurisdictions doing? This is what they're doing. They're assessing certain fees to register. There's an annual fee that you have to pay. There's enforcement actions tied to non-compliance. I think Table 1 and Table 2 provide you with what is being done by other jurisdictions. And so it's a matter of what out of this table do you like to see for San Bernardino and what you don't want to see for San Bernardino. And to address your question regarding funding, if we ban it, that's it. We have to enforce it, we have to know who they are, but we can't really collect anything to actually help with the enforcement process. So we're just kind of chasing after them. If we regulate it, we know who they are, they register, we have their money, we can use those fees to fund a code enforcement officer or officers or whatever it is we decide to go and try to suppress some of these issues. Plus the fact that the prevalence of reports that I have seen. Now, the police department may have gotten other calls regarding noise and things, but the ones that come through as far as short-term rentals are concerned, there are 5 of them. They're identified in your staff report. I didn't list the address specifically, but you kind of have a general idea. This is not a 200 properties in a city that are creating a lot of problem. This is a handful of properties that can easily be regulated.
And the anticipated TOT from this is, I think you mentioned 320,000, something
324,
like that.
approximately.
Okay. I still don't think that will be enough. Sure, it'll be enough for the monitoring of it, but there's still a code enforcement aspect of it that I don't think that's going to be enough to be able to still continue to enforce it. So I proposed something at the previous hearing. I'm not sure if legally we're even allowed to do this. But it was just a suggestion, a recommendation, as far as the reason why this is even prevalent in our city is because the majority of them are coming in because of the raves, right? Or because special events or concerts and things like that. And so I had I proposed, or at least looking into possibly looking at a per ticket fee of $1 per ticket, or I'm not sure if that's something that we can utilize for enforcement, for additional enforcement or supplemental enforcement for this. Is that, I would ask, maybe not even here now, but at the next meeting, if we do move forward, please provide an answer to that. If we're able to assess a fee for those special events, whether it's $1, $2, I don't know what that looks like, but are we legally allowed to use that for enforcement purposes? And so just to help assist with the cost of it as well.
Councilman Figueroa, in my personal opinion, it is whatever it is contractually both sides agree to. I do not monitor the contract for the rave event proprietors, but I do know that there are certain specifications in there. It's something, I think it's something that is negotiable unless it's totally illegal by law, and I don't see where that illegality is. Maybe Mr. City Attorney can talk about that. We'll bring that over to you.
And then my final thought and comment here is we've already identified, what was it, about 4 or 5 locations who've already been identified as being problematic. Would we able to just start off with a ban on those locations and move forward with potentially looking at allowing it to happen, starting off with a ban at those locations, and then move forward from there with penalties if they violate any of the
Councilman Figueroa, it's a
conditions.
technicality. Without actually having the use itself in our code that's either approved or not, we're going after those people for violating something that our code doesn't approve or deny, doesn't give us a leg to stand on. So, for us to do that, we either have to say we're going to adopt a resolution allowing us to regulate the use, then we can now go after them and say you're bad actors, maybe you're suspended for life. For example, the city of Palm Springs, one time, one violation, suspended for life. You can't get any permit. So those things are there in that table that I shared with you. It's just a matter of to what extent do you really want to go, and do you want to be lenient, or do you want to charge more to register? The opportunities are there.
Thank you, and that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that. Thank you. No more questions.
Thank you. Great questions and comments, Councilmember. Councilmember Flores?
Yes, I'd like to continue the discussion for the next meeting.
Thank you. I'm going back to Councilmember Ortiz, followed by Mayor Pro Tem.
I just want, if this is something to bring up, I mean, with this next thing, and I think I brought this up last time, everything you just said only accounts for enforcement. So we have a ban on fireworks. And but here's the thing, you can be fined $2,500 up to $5,000. And in the last 5 years, we have collected only $9,000 in fines because we don't have the enforcement. So we have a lot of things on the books that look great. We have a very big municipal code, but without the proper people in place to do this, it's meaningless. It's like a red light without a traffic cop. And we see it. We have stop signs, people on stop. I just ran into a San Bernardino PD officer the other day talking about Airbnbs up on Edgemore. And even with there being ambiguity or a ban or whatever, we're about ready to hit our budget. And we're going to go over it tonight. We don't have the money to do this, and yet you're going to create a system that says one and done. Great. Who's going to go out there and do that? We have people building ADUs in their backyards with no permits that you can see from the street, and who's stopping them? You have people who PD will go to, or code will go to a house for trash cans out front, and then people got trash cans next door. We don't apply it equitably. So unless you can bring something back that really shows how you can actually pull this off, I think it's just another effort to, sounds great, but it costs us money not to enforce. It costs us time, it costs us PD calls, or what is it gonna be? This is a non-priority call, go ahead and submit it online? Because that's what happens the majority of time when there's just regular issues that aren't non-emergency, and a noise complaint at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or if you're gonna have to put your name on it. So can we figure out a way where residents get to be able to submit complaints, even if they don't wanna put their names on it? Like, we got to fix what stops people from wanting to call and from why, and I mean, how many second homes do you have that people live in that aren't registered here? Plus a business license is $65. So, I mean, we have a lot of deficiencies and not a lot of capital. And so we expend $300,000 in overtime for PD for a week on just a patrol for 4th of July. We have no enforcement for fireworks. So I just want, so if you guys can figure that piece out for me, that'd be great.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, followed by Councilmember Sanchez.
You know, and my thoughts were very aligned with Councilmember Ortiz. The last meeting that we had regarding this, I did specifically ask if we could have some kind of detailed analysis as far as estimate cost for how much it would really cost to actually regulate it. I did see the chart and the comparison with other cities, but I didn't see really a cost analysis of what it would truly take to make an enforcement action really practical for the city of San Bernardino. So if we could, when we come back April 15th or whenever that is, if we could be provided with some detailed estimates, I think that would be appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Sanchez?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify something. You had mentioned that we had spent $300,000 on additional enforcement of illegal fireworks, and then said we don't do fireworks enforcement. So which is it?
We spend monies for overtime for PD.
To
and
do fireworks enforcement.
Firework enforcement.
And then you said they don't do
and
fireworks enforcement.
We have only received $9,000
That is not true.
type of, yes, it is.
That is not true.
I received the information from the city manager. He did the analysis for me.
That is not, it's not $9,000.
Eric, did you lie to me, city manager, when I sat down with you and you provided me the numbers? I don't think you would do that.
So
I
there's
would never
what,
believe
yeah,
that.
there's what was fined, and then there's what we received.
That's
and
right.
Those are two different numbers.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay.
$9,000.
Thank you. I believe there's a motion second for the continuation of this item for April 15th. Please call for the votes.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Canas?
Yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz?
Yes.
Motion passes to continue to April 15th.
Thank
Mayor,
you. Thank you,
Mayor,
council. Yes, Mr.
If I
City
may,
Attorney.
I'd like to invite you to keep the public hearing open. I know that I heard you close it. I'd like for you to keep it open. The reason why is because the regulations that may come to on April 15th, some of those will be the first time that the public has seen it. They have a right to give public comment on those new regulations that were not in today's packet. And so I'd like to ask you to keep the public hearing open, but it will be continued to that new date.
So I will put on the record that the public hearing is still open from the last meeting, correct? So
It's-
how
yeah,
it's
it's
written
still open
on record.
now?
Yes, still open, and so,
And it'll be continued to April 15th.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you. We move on to the next public hearing, item number 5, introduce ordinance number MC 1662, setting forth procedures for expediting permitting processing for electric vehicle EV charging systems. I'm opening the public hearing at 6:07 PM. Could staff provide presentation on this item?
Madam Mayor, IG is looking for the PowerPoint presentation on this.
Mayor?
Councilmember?
Yes, if there's any public hearing, if we can do the, not the public hearing, if there's any public comment, I think we can waive the presentation. This is mandated through the government code, and I believe it's to advance the clean energy initiatives of the state. So I'd move to approve once we close the hearing.
Mayor,
I'd like
there's
to-
one
Or
request
for
to
us to
speak.
waive the presentation.
Thank you, Councilmember. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, there's one comment from Ron Alvarado.
Please state your name. You have 3 minutes.
Mayor and Council, my name is Ron Alvarado, candidate for the council seat in the First Ward. I'm speaking tonight on ordinance MC 1662 regarding the expedited permitting for electrical vehicle charging stations. Modernizing San Bernardino's infrastructure is a critical component of what I call visible progress. As we move toward a greener future, our city must be prepared to support the technology that our residents and businesses are increasingly relying on. However, as we discuss expediting the permit process, we must ensure that fast does not become a synonym for unsafe. As a lead safety coordinator for my office, I understand that electrical infrastructure requires precision. Streamlining the paperwork is a good step for economic development, but it must not come at the cost of rigorous safety inspections. We need to ensure that our building and safety department has the administrative capacity to handle these expedited requests without cutting corners on the California Electrical Code. Furthermore, as we incentivize the build-out of this infrastructure, we should be ensuring that the work is performed by highly skilled local labor. When we use public policy to drive private investment, that investment should support family-sustaining wages for the people doing the work right here in our community. Expedited permitting should be a tool to remove unnecessary red tape, not a way to bypass the oversight that protects our homes and businesses from fire hazards and faulty installations. Let's move San Bernardino forward by being efficient, being safe, and being accountable to the long-term integrity of our city's electrical grid. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the speakers.
Thank you. I'm now closing the public hearing at 6:09 p.m. for deliberation and action.
Madam Mayor,
I believe-
if you spare me a moment, even though we don't have the presentation online, I have a hard copy of the
Understood.
PowerPoint.
There's
which
already
is
a motion
also
and a
in
second
your-
on the item,
Okay.
so we should be fine. Unless council, did you guys have any further comments? Okay. Madam City Clerk?
Mayor, I apologize. Who made the second?
Who's the second?
Madam Mayor, we're asking because there's one technicality in it, and I'm asking that you continue it just to make sure that we don't lose local control issues. There's a
Continuing
question.
this item?
Yeah.
To April 15th?
Yeah.
Sure.
No, yeah, April 15th.
That's 2 meetings from now.
Yeah. I'm just concerned we're going to overload April 15th, but.
So what meeting would it come back?
We could do it the first in May.
First meeting of May?
First meeting May, yeah.
For this item?
Yes.
So I'm not closing the public hearing,
Correct, just continuing it.
just continuing this item at the request of city manager to continuing this item to the first meeting in May. Is that okay with council? Thank you. There's a motion.
I'll second.
There's a second. Madam City Clerk, please call for the votes.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Canas?
Yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously to continue the item to the meeting of May 1st.
Thank you. Thank you, council. We're moving on to city manager update. Mr. City Manager, please proceed with your report.
Mayor Tran and City Council members, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present. First, I want to talk about flock safety camera information. Questions have come up regarding San Bernardino's use of flock license plate readers. A flock camera is an automated license plate reader designed to capture images of vehicles, license plates, and unique vehicle features such as make, color, damage in real time. The city currently has 28 license plate readers. We do not have facial recognition capabilities on the readers themselves and are not able to detect driver or passenger, gender, or race. Any data that is accumulated is stored for 30 days. Under California state law, data cannot be shared with federal immigration agencies. Flock statistics can be viewed by residents by visiting the San Bernardino Police Department website. The data includes number of unique vehicles, identified number of hot list hits, stolen vehicles, amber alerts, etc. among the identified vehicles and California law enforcement partner agencies. The PD uses flock cameras to help solve crimes, making our community safer. Last year alone, they helped San Bernardino Police Department solve several homicides and dozens of other crimes here in the community. On city issues the city is currently issuing a phishing warning. Recently, hackers have been sending out phony invoices via email seeking electronic payments claiming to be from the city of San Bernardino or other area cities. These messages often include urgent or time-sensitive deadlines, suspicious links or attachments, or unfamiliar email addresses. If a message seems suspicious, trust your instincts, don't click on anything or respond. Instead, please contact the City of San Bernardino directly at 998-2000, or by using phone numbers listed on the city's official website at www.sanbernardino.gov. We want to have a congratulations to Cajon High School, Colonel Joseph Rodriguez Prep Academy, Middle College High, and Richardson Prep High Middle School, who last week were all named California Distinguished Schools. Each school is a part of the San Bernardino City Unified School District. Established in 1986, this data-driven recognition honors especially schools that distinguish themselves on the basis of exemplary student outcomes, including graduation rates and college and career readiness. Animal Services is going to offer low-cost vaccines. The Animal Services Department will be offering low-cost pet vaccines and microchipping from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Thursday, March 19th, which is tomorrow, and Wednesday, March 25th at 9 a.m. at the city shelter on Chandler Place. Available services include Bordetella, DHPP, FVRCP, rabies, and microchips. The cost for each service is only $15 each. No appointment is necessary. However, space is limited each day to the first 50 pets. Dogs must be on a leash. Cats must be in a carrier. On Wednesday, March 25th at 11 a.m., U.S. Vets, in partnership with the city, will break ground on a new permanent supportive housing project for homeless veterans. The council approved $4.9 million in support of this project in December. The project, located at 1351 North East Street, will provide 31 and 2-bedroom units for veterans earning 30% and 50% of the area median income. Residents will also benefit from on-site supportive services tailored to the needs of homeless veterans, coordinated by U.S. Vets and partner organizations. Finally, 30,000 filled eggs will be up for grabs at the annual Parks and Rec extravaganza taking place on Saturday, March 28th from 12 to 4 p.m. at Lytle Creek Park. The free family event will feature 4 egg hunts based upon participants' ages. Activities will also include bouncers, exciting games, hands-on craft stations, local food vendors, giveaways, festive music, a face painter, and photos with the bunny. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Ortiz, do you have a question?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I just real quick, since you're city manager, on the flock safety cameras, I just wanted to know, are they our cameras? We own them, and so the information is proprietary to the city of San Bernardino? We're not leasing it or getting it from another source?
Yes, and I can have someone from the police department come up, but I could give you basically, yes, they are our cameras. We have agreements where we will share the data under certain elements, which was what's talked about, but it's only to California agencies. And then they have to hold by the criteria we have, and it's through an agreement that we have with Flock.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes, on the flock cameras also. This was a concern from the community members. I tried talking to them to get more details. And apparently, it's the company that's sharing information to federal agents. It's not our city, it's not our PD, it's the agency. And they were recommending if we can possibly look into other agencies that have those cameras so that they don't have that access as providers. That's I'm just voicing what the community told me about the flock cameras.
Okay, and I could have, Madam Mayor and Councilmember Ibarra, I could have someone from PD come up, but I would say that my understanding is Flock cannot share that data. They do share data because they're across the country, but they would not share our individual city data unless it was within our agreement, and we don't allow, we only allow certain shared data, and it's only to agencies that have the same policies as us, which are mostly California agencies, but I'm probably getting a little too far outside my scope if someone from PD wants to come up and add to that.
What part's not clear?
So is it only going to, I guess, is it only going to police agencies then? Is that where our data goes?
100%. We don't share with anyone outside of the state of California because everyone in the state of California that's a law enforcement agency is bound by the same law, which means we don't share with federal agencies and we don't share with anyone outside of California who wouldn't be beholden to the law that forbids sharing.
And then that data from the cameras is transferred directly to PD's command center, right? It doesn't go through, or does it go through a different agency first?
We hold the information unless sharing with the specific agency is requested.
And that is it just through that agreement, or do they have to like subpoena it, show a purpose? You know, it's not just like, hey, we need this. It's right. They show you the law enforcement purpose side of it, correct?
Yes, there would have to be a reason.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief. All right. Moving on to public comments. At this time, the public comments will be heard for items on the open session and items not on the agenda. To address the City Council, everyone must complete a speaker card and provide it to the City Clerk. Only those speaker cards turned into the City Clerk will be allowed to address the City Council. No late cards will be accepted. Each person should state their name for the record before beginning their comments. As your name is called, please line up behind the podium. We have 2 podiums available for your convenience. Please proceed to either one as soon as your name is called. Please note your name will only be called once. If you do not respond when called, you may forfeit your opportunity to speak. If you require Spanish interpretation, we do have an interpreter on site. Please raise your hand at this time to indicate you will need interpreting assistance. In addition, we have interpreting listening devices available in the back. We ask that you please observe proper decorum and do not speak out of turn or make comments from your seat. If you wish to address the Mayor and City Council, please be sure to submit a speaker slip. If you speak out of turn or disrupt the meeting, a warning may be given and/or you will be asked to leave the meeting pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.9 and Penal Code 403.
En este momento se escucharán los comentarios públicos para artículos de la agenda y artículos que no están en la agenda. Para dirigirse al Consejo Municipal, cada individuo debe completar una tarjeta de orador. Se debe completar la tarjeta de orador y entregarla a la Secretaría Municipal en este momento. Solo aquellas tarjetas de orador entregadas a la Secretaría Municipal podrán dirigirse al Consejo Municipal. No se aceptarán tarjetas tardías. Cada persona debe indicar su nombre para el registro antes de comenzar sus comentarios. Al ser llamado, por favor, forme una fila en el orden anunciado. Disponemos de 2 podios para su comodidad. Diríjase a cualquiera de ellos tan pronto como se le llame su nombre. Si necesita interpretación en español, tenemos un intérprete presente. Por favor, levante la mano en este momento para indicar que requiere servicios. También tenemos aparatos disponibles para escuchar la Junta en español. Le pedimos que por favor observe el debido decoro y no hable fuera de turno ni realice comentarios desde su asiento. Si desea dirigirse a la alcaldesa y al Consejo Municipal, asegúrese de presentar una hoja de orador. Si habla fuera de turno o interrumpe la reunión, podrá recibir una advertencia y o se le pedirá que abandone la sesión conforme a la sección 54957.9 del Código Gubernamental y la sección 403 del Código Penal.
Thank you. Gracias. We have 36 speakers tonight, and each speaker will have 3 minutes. Madam City Clerk, please call the speakers.
Edwin Delgado, Freddie Miller, Benito Barrios, Ron Alvarado, Al Palazzo, Christian Shaughnessy, Eric Marquez, Joe Salas, Jim Smith, John Schollenberger, Dolores Armstead, Les, Tanya Smith, Michelle Mahan, Nelson Carrington, Adam Affronti, Josh Cogswell, Nick Ogdendorf, Luis Mendez, Angel Huerta, Edgar Marquez, Juan Vasquez Flores, Bertha Parra, Melina Enriquez, Andy Fuentes, Keith Benitez, Pluto Ardza, Lydia Zavala, Ali Espinoza, Scott Olson, Luis Avila, Omar Williams, Tim Prince, Ronald McCullough, Stephanie Linfetzi, Amy Malone.
Thank you. You may state your name. You have
My
3
name
minutes.
is Freddie. I'm simply here, I came here about a month or so ago with concerns about being evicted out of my house and where I was living at, and made a plea to you guys. And then I went to the supervisory council meeting, made a plea to them, And then got a hold of some lawyers, and we waited patiently. And I'm here to say thank you to all of you guys because it came through. The property was bought, is now owned by someone else, and we are now safely housed. I don't have to worry about being evicted anymore. And that was because of the help of all of you guys here who came and plead from the get-go. So from the people of 460 G Street, we all thank you for your help. The Attorney General and all of you guys who helped us keep a roof over our head. I remember even in the Bible, Jesus has stated that him being the servant of man that had no place to lay his head. So he too had a problem with homeless. And I thank you guys for coming through and helping us. I don't know how many times people come here and say thank you, but I'm here to say thank you for all of us for what you've done. That's all.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Al Palazzo. Mayor, council members, city manager. Before I give you a specific plan on how to bring back Mount Vernon Route 66, I told you I was going to give you some history of the west side of Mount Vernon, and I'm continuing. When Father Hatch built the school at St. Anthony at 16th and Western Avenue, I was an altar boy assisting at Mass. Later, Father Lukey came and for many years later put on the Crucio Spiritual Weekends for the diocese, Catholic diocese. When my mother and I would walk home, we would pass the community hospital. Sammy Davis Jr. helped raise funds to build that hospital. He was in an accident in Cajon Pass and was treated just down the street here at the old community. The AME Church, just before Mount Vernon, was built when I was a teenager. Cheryl Brown and Hardy Brown are members of that church. They have given so much to the city of San Bernardino for many decades. Next door was the first supermarket, the Colony Market. It later became the Carpenters Union for decades, and then it's now currently, and for many decades, the Dorothy Ingram Community Center. She was the first African-American superintendent in the state of California, and her brother Paul was a doctor. I remember seeing a poster as I was walking on Mount Vernon past Goodlet when I was a teenager on a pole. Tina Turner was appearing in San Bernardino. Now we're at the Frosty Freeze again, where my sister was dancing after elementary school to the music of Carole King, and which they're going to do her life story at the California Theater in May. Some of her hits were Dancing in the Streets and Say a Little Prayer for You. Later, her friend, Child, I mentioned that her son was an Olympic gold medal winner. They were in a drill team in high school, and they would practice at Franklin. They were called the Rhythm Steppers. Miss Janae had a great drill team. And by the way, that map I gave you, how to rebuild the Carousel Mall, 3 days later, I delivered at City Hall a copy for each of you with a narration of all those colors. I have yet to be told that you have received that copy. And next time, we will go the next block where the old oak tree is. It was planted by the uncle of Gary and Sherry Devlin when he was in the 3rd grade, many, many decades. It's still there at Dr. Hendry's school, and I always think of tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Edwin Delgado, and I'm representing 5th District Supervisor Joe Baca Jr., and I'm here to speak on item 18. This item increases funding from $342,000 to $351,000 to support senior nutrition services through our Department of Aging and Adult Services. This program is critical, and it provides meals to our senior residents that are living in the city and across our community. These are thousands of meals that are served every year, and we are grateful, and we want to express our gratitude to the city and its staff for continuing to prioritize this program and ensuring that these services are delivered with care and consistency. And on behalf of the 5th District Supervisor, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council, and community residents. My name is Christian Shaughnessy, and I am a candidate for City Council over in the 2nd Ward. Today, you folks on the council are asking the public to support a censure based on alleged misconduct. But the real question is, why are you continuing to target a community leader who has consistently stood by her findings? And why attempt to damage her reputation without clear evidence? Your actions suggest a troubling sense of self-entitlement, acting as jury, judge, and executioner while ignoring transparency and due process. You have chosen not to acknowledge what Dr. Ortiz has brought forward, including recordings and text messages that deserve attention. That raises a serious question. What are you afraid of? Instead, you rely on an internal investigation, and of course we can always stress internal investigations, conducted without interviewing key individuals, including Dr. Ortiz, Kim Calvin, and resident Scott Beard. Is this truly how we operate in the city, creating our own investigations and punishing those who speak out? This approach does not build trust. It deepens concern, and it contributes to the stigma that San Bernardino's reputation has. As a taxpayer, I do not approve of how public funds have been used on this matter. Our community deserves meaningful discussions on real issues: homelessness, public health, economic recovery, public safety. Where have those conversations been? And why do they only seem to appear when it is politically convenient, say 3 to 4 months before an election? What will you say to the public when it is revealed that the chief of police provided false testimony? Will there be accountability? Will there be acknowledgement of the harm caused by these actions? Any special meetings? Sandra, I am running to replace you in this election because the past 7 years you have not done anything meaningful for the people of the 2nd Ward. What productive special meetings have you called to work with our public on these issues? You're no leader. By your participation in this effort, you are proving once again that you are a bully. And we have seen this in the past. Just like when you went on your official city council social media and you accused the mayor and of Councilwoman Ortiz of faking deaths of family members to get out of meetings. Now, Mayor, you are once again asking for the public's trust in your own work. You speak about restoring confidence in the city government. Yet over the past 4 years, many in this community have seen little progress in these promises. This is an opportunity, as it is an opportunity for all good-minded people on the council. It is time to move beyond these stigmatizing patterns, this dysfunction. It is time to act with integrity, accountability, and transparency, and to finally deliver on the commitments made to this community.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Melina on behalf of Leticia Chavez. I'm here tonight because what's happening is deeply concerning, not just for one council member, but for the integrity of this entire city. Let's be clear. You're asking the public to support a censure based on alleged misconduct. So I'm asking you clearly and directly, what illegal act has been proven? Not implied, not suggested, proven. What statute was violated? What policy was broken? And where is the evidence? Because from the public standpoint, the process has been anything but clean and transparent. We have an investigation that reviewed political speech and public commentary, taxpayer dollars spent monitoring debates and social media, and reports that were edited and finalized right before being presented to the council. This is not transparency, this is narrative control. Let's talk about the pattern here. A complaint is raised, an investigation is launched using the same network of outside firms. Discussions happen out of public view, and then suddenly, a recommendation appears that this body will take action against an elected official. So where and how did all, I repeat, all the council agreed to a censure? At some point, when did the same names keep appearing, the same process keep occurring? We have to ask. Or are we expected to trust without question? So again, I ask you, where is the evidence of an actual violation? Where is the independent verification? Where is the accountability for those who conducted and shaped this investigation? Because if no law was broken and no clear violation occurred, then this is not accountability, this is political theater. And it raises even more serious question. Are city systems, investigations, legal processes, even potentially law enforcement tools being used in ways that cross ethical or legal lines? Because if so, then the issue before you tonight is not the conduct of one council member. It is the conduct of this institution. Before you vote to censure anyone, you owe us real answers, not conclusions, not summaries, or carefully worded reports. Evidence. San Bernardino residents are not here for political theater. We are here for the truth. So tonight you have an opportunity to show us whether this council stands for transparency or whether it will continue to participate in the same shady politics that have made the community lose all faith and trust in you. Censure without evidence is not accountability. It is an abuse of process, and the public is paying attention.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Ron Alvarado. I'm a resident of the First Ward and a candidate for City Council. We are at crossroads in San Bernardino. This past Monday, we saw the energy of the First Ward at the Parks Master Plan meeting, an energy fueled by 16 years of frustration. You were there, Mayor. For over a decade, our neighborhoods have been ignored. Our parks have deteriorated, and our voices have been sidelined. But even more troubling than the physical neglect of our city is the ethical neglect we are witnessing in this chamber. We have seen an alarming abuse of power, specifically the calling of special meetings, not to address emergencies like our housing crisis or public safety, but to harass and intimidate community leaders. We live in a country where the bedrock of our justice system is that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Yet, we see this council using taxpayer-funded time and resources to go after individuals simply because they do not like the truth being spoken. This is dangerous. It's a dangerous precedent. We have seen this brand of toxic, retaliatory politics at the national level, and it is absurd to see it being mirrored right here in our own backyard. As a fraud and compliance investigator, I am professionally trained to follow the evidence. What I see here is a total lack and absence of evidence. Yet this city continues to waste precious tax dollars addressing matters that haven't even gone to trial. While we are told there isn't enough funding for public park lighting or neighborhood services, the city suddenly finds an unlimited checkbook for legal maneuvers aimed at silencing dissent. This is not leadership. This is distraction. Leadership means knowing when to admit a mistake was made and focusing on the real work. The residents of the First Ward and this entire city deserve a council that respects the law and the values and dignity of its residents. We want visible progress, not political theater. It is time to stop the intimidation and start doing the job that you were elected to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen of San Bernardino. My name is Benito Barrios, candidate for Second Ward here in the city of San Bernardino. And I'm here because there's some things that have been said about myself that are just misleading and false. And I'm here to clear that. And, you know, in the elections, politics, people are going to throw things out there. But if there's merit to it, by all means, I'd own up to it, all the things that are being said. But there is none. There is none at all. And there is a report that I was interviewed about this letter from Trump that was sent out, you know, in 2017. And I just got a little snippet from the Sun newspaper because they interviewed me about it. I like to play for you guys, so you guys, it's not something I've made up. And it gives me some credibility as to how I was not on board with that letter.
Councilman Benito Barrios also signed a letter that said he disagreed with it, but had signed it because he trusted the signatures of the city attorney and police chief.
The volume was done. Here we go.
Language, for example. Earlier, Councilman Benito Barrios, who also signed the letter, said he disagreed with it but had signed it because he trusted the signatures of the city attorney and police chief. Barrios said allowing medical marijuana in the city is important to protect people's health, as well as to respect the public's vote.
And there's a lot more with all everything else that's been said about me, and I'll be in the back if anybody wants to talk to me about it. I don't want to waste any of the time for the city where we should be conducting business and talking about that. And I know some people have used the platform here to say things about me, to smear my name, but things that come to my mind are like slander, defamation, and there's some serious consequence to that. So if that's you or anybody that's wanting to come out and talk to me about what's going on, about me, about my past, about the history, about the future, please do. And a shout out to Fuerza Regia and JOP, who took the time to talk with me and the mayor about doing some good things in the San Bernardino. And shout out my boy. See ya.
Thank you. Next speaker. Please state your
Good
name.
evening, Mayor Tran and City Council members. My name is Tanya Smith. I'm here tonight because, Mayor Tran, I called your office twice this last week with no response at all. I called when they came to clean up our encampment near Little Mountain Drive and looking for a place to stay and a return to basic human dignity. I've yet to receive a single return call. Councilmember Canus, I am speaking to you specifically as a resident of Ward 5. When did it become acceptable for the city to ignore its own neighbors while they are being swept like trash? We are your constituents and we deserve the courtesy of an answer. Let's talk about the money. This city claims it doesn't have money. We are in a county that has fought through bankruptcy, yet we're throwing tax dollars into a black hole. They come out to give us tickets for trespassing we can't possibly pay. When those tickets inevitably turn into warrants, we're sent to jail. It costs the taxpayers roughly $131 per day to keep someone in a cell. That is over $47,000 a year per person. You are spending more to lock us up for being poor than it would cost to simply have a dumpster and a bathroom. Using a jail as a makeshift shelter is physically irresponsible, and it's a slap in the face to every taxpayer in San Bernardino who wants to see the city actually move forward. And to the police and the city workers who approach us and say, hey, do you need treatment? We're not all addicts. Some of us are simply here because we don't make enough money to live in anywhere. We're not all drug addicts, and I hate the fact that people come out and that's the first thing they say to us. And even if they were drug addicts, they are so much more than that. You know, that's not right. And then they ask, why do you have so much stuff? We need blankets. We need stuff to cook in. We need stuff to just, that normal people need. The only difference between us and the people at houses is that house. And then they're telling us, oh, you can't be with the person that you're with. You can't, male and female cannot be together. So you're asking me to leave my boyfriend or my girlfriend, whatever, here and go get a bed while they stay out here. That's just not. Why would I leave the person who makes me feel safe to go somewhere where people treat me like trash anyway? I won't do that, and neither will a million people. So since I said I won't do that, my response was, do you want to go to jail? That's what they told me when I said that. Do you want to go to jail? No, I don't want to go to jail. Who wants to go to jail? You know, all I'm asking is for a little compassion, a little help. That's it. That's it. We deserve to be treated like people. Yes, we are homeless. I got that. But not all of us are bad people. There are bad people out there, that is true. But there's bad people in every neighborhood around here. So all I'm asking is for a little respect and a little compassion for us. That's all I'm asking. And it would be cheaper to have some housing. It would cost you only $72 a day for some supportive housing. Come on now, let's be real. That's all we want, is to be treated like people. Because believe it or not, we're people, and here I am, I'm a person. And I'd like to be treated like that. Just the same way that you want to be treated like that, period. Thank you. And could I please pass these?
Thank you. Next speaker,
Mayor,
please
one
state your
second.
name.
If we can have staff get any contact information they need from her to help
you, Councilmember.
direct her to services, please.
Hello, my name's Eric Marquez, candidate for the 4th Ward, and I wouldn't normally be here today because I could be going door to door actually telling all of my constituents all the wonderful potential I see in the city that we can make happen. But unfortunately, you people, sorry, I don't mean you people, but specifically the Navigation Center and the community garden is what I'm referring to in this case. Several community garden plots have been partially shortened and damaged, and at least one has lost access to the road paths in the garden because of the construction and breaking ground of the Navigation Center. An artificial gate has been put up in place of our old one. And I just find that outrageous because the only thing the community garden got was a sign saying, "We're sorry, we're doing our best," even though several plots were partially destroyed. Just a little, not too bad. They still have land, just less. And that, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Why should my neighbors have to suffer just because someone didn't draw a property line correctly? I mean, I would really appreciate any of you to visit the garden and look on the ground to see what's really happening. And that's just terrible. And I would encourage anyone else to speak out against it at the Parks and Recreation Commission tomorrow, every month, every third Thursday, I believe. And I can waste 1 minute and 15 seconds of your time right now, and no one could stop me. So I want to know, how would you all feel if a piece of your household, yard, was just gone? 14 rose bushes just because your neighbor wanted to put something up where it was. I mean, that is a violation of property rights. Even though they're both owned by the city, the plots are leased to the leasees and members of that community garden. So please look into this and please correct this, because these people shouldn't have to suffer from negligence from the city. Oh goodness, I'm really trying to waste your time. So I don't respect Fred, I don't respect Ted, and there are several other people I don't respect. And also, I like hearing the sound of my own voice, and I'm really putting in some effort into reaching out to all the people in my ward, so that way I can get enough votes to get 50% plus one. And I've mostly just heard terrible things about Fred, and I'm loving it. Well, it's nice talking, everyone. See you tomorrow, maybe.
Thank
Bye.
you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening. Mayor and members of the council, my name is Luis Mendez. I'm here again all the way from the East Coast. As I stated before, I'm a former government official and a civil rights advocate for those who are disenfranchised by governmental discriminating policies. I also have about 6 family members who are my cousins and tres tías. That means that at times I come home to California. I don't live in SoCal yet, but I hope one day to do so. Mayor and members of the council, it is really important that the community knows what's happening with regards to the Carousel Mall development project. I want to make sure they know that there is ongoing litigation between the city and the developer on this development project. Don Monte, who is here tonight, is the developer. And I thank him for being here despite the challenges he has faced against his goodwill to help the city become a thriving place to live, work, and play. And he has always been thankful for the overwhelming community support he has always received. Don, you stated to the council in the past, we are here and we're not going away. And your mere presence pays homage to that. I want to convey to all the residents, this is your one and only chance to finally take the city back. Here's how it's done. You need to tell everyone who can vote to vote their conscience and get back all the missed opportunities for those who deserve a better life. It's residents. The dream of redeveloping the city can only become reality if you come out and vote your conscience for a better future. Buenas noches, mi nombre es Luis Méndez, soy un exfuncionario de gobierno y defensor de los derechos civiles de quienes son marginados por políticas discriminatorias. Además, tengo más familia aquí en el sur de California que en cualquier otro lugar del mundo. Así que, en cierto modo, estoy volviendo a casa. alcalde y concejales, es muy importante que la comunidad esté al tanto de lo que sucede con el proyecto del Centro Comercial Carrusel. Quiero asegurarme que sepan que existe una demanda legal entre la ciudad y el promotor del proyecto sobre este tema. Dan Manti, quien está aquí esta noche, es el promotor del proyecto y le agradezco su presencia a pesar de los desafíos enfrentados en buena voluntad de ayudar a la ciudad a que se convierta en un lugar próspero para vivir, trabajar y divertirse. Siempre ha estado agradecido con el gran apoyo de la comunidad que ha recibido. Dan, tú dijiste en el consejo pasado, estamos aquí y no nos iremos, y tu propia presencia confirma eso. Quiero transmitirle a todos los residentes que esta es la única oportunidad para recuperar la ciudad. Para lograrlo, deben decirle a todos los que pueden votar que voten según su conciencia y recuperen las oportunidades perdidas para quienes lo merecen mejor, sus residentes. El sueño de rehabilitar la ciudad solo sería realidad si salen a votar según su conciencia. May God bless the people of the city of San Bernardino and its homeless population. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Gracias. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, staff, and members of the public. My name is Nick Oldendorf, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight as both an off-duty police officer and a concerned citizen. For over 20 years, I've listened to some people ask for more from the police department, whether it's a reduction in crime or community engagement. And I'll be the first to admit, occasionally, it's because we haven't met expectations and have fallen short. Although we're consistently trying to improve, this is not one of those times. We're seeing historic drops in crime and levels of community engagement never witnessed before. I'm here because I'm concerned about the lack of support being shown towards our police chief and the police department. Strong leadership in law enforcement is not something every community is fortunate to have. When we do have a capable, ethical, and dedicated chief, that leadership should be valued and supported, not undermined and attacked. A police chief carries enormous responsibility. They are accountable for public safety, community relationships, crisis response, and the trust of the people they serve. Those responsibilities require not only competence, but also the backing of the elected officials who oversee the department. This department has nearly 300 sworn officers willing to put their lives on the line to protect this community. That is our job. Our job is not to be used as leverage or political advancement. When a council appears divided from or unsupportive of its chief, the consequences reach far beyond this room. Officers notice it, recruitment becomes harder, retention suffers, and the community confidence erodes. And ultimately, the people who feel those effects most are the residents of this city. Those effects will last long into the future, and sometimes I wonder if that's the goal. Supporting a police chief does not mean avoiding oversight or refusing to ask hard questions. Accountability is essential in any public institution, but there's an important difference between oversight and obstruction. Healthy governance means working collaboratively, communicating openly, and recognizing when a leader is doing their job well. From what many of us in the community have seen, our chief has demonstrated commitment to professionalism, transparency, and public safety. That kind of leadership deserves constructive partnership from this council, not constant resistance or political pressure. Public safety should never become a political battleground. The safety of our neighborhoods, families, and businesses depend on stability, trust, and cooperation between city leadership and the police department. Tonight, I urge this council to reflect on the message being sent, not only to our police officers, but the entire community. If we have a strong chief, we should work with them, support them, and give them the tools and confidence needed to lead effectively. Our city deserves unity when it comes to public safety. I ask you to put aside divisions and focus on collaboration that strengthens the department and protects the people you represent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Thank you. My name is Andy Fuentes. Do you guys have nothing better to do for your city? Seriously, nothing better? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you guys do one thing, attack Treasurer Ortiz. Families are struggling, neighborhoods are being neglected, people don't feel safe, and yet this is what your priorities are. Because every single time Dr. Treasurer Ortiz calls out corruption, you guys try to silence her. That's what it is. Councilwoman Ibarra, I want to talk to you directly. Because while some of you are focused on this is what's been happening. In the last 2 months, I have been harassed twice in your ward. Twice. One time, I had someone getting aggressive while they were actively doing drugs. Another time, a man exposed himself completely inappropriate while kids were walking down the street. This is what we're dealing with. This is why we don't feel safe in the city. Kids my age can't even walk down the street, and yet we're doing this? You guys don't care. Teddy, your ward is consistently struggling and you have nothing to say, nothing to do. That's why we constantly see it burn down. But suddenly, this is what we're up to. Silencing Dr. Treasure Ortiz. Silencing the voice of the 7th Ward. Do you care about this city? Because I do. That's why I'm here. You have the power to fix real problems. You have the ability to make this city better. But instead, you keep pulling this. As a young person in the city, I'm deeply frustrated. I'm tired and I'm angry because this is what our leadership is doing instead of focusing on us. How am I supposed to trust the city government when this is what I see? There's nothing here to trust. And let me say this clearly. You want to fight? You found one because Treasure Ortiz is not alone. She has people behind her, people who are ready to stand for her and fight for her no matter what. This is your moment. But you have a voice and you can stand up for this. You can actually do something because this is what you were elected for. I'm asking you to do the right thing. Do this. End this. Stop wasting time on this. Start focusing on issues that will actually matter to the people of this city, and I'll end with this. Dr. Treasure Ortiz will not stop calling out corruption, even when it's uncomfortable. Even when it makes the people up there feel uneasy. She's doing it so what's happening to her doesn't happen to anyone else. And honestly, you should all be ashamed of yourselves because why are we doing this?
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Adam Affronti, and I'm speaking here tonight on behalf of the San Bernardino Police Managers Association as their sitting president. Chief Darren Goodman has brought a wealth of knowledge and experience to the police department. Over the last few years, through his leadership, mentorship, and development, there have been several recurring lessons that he's shared with his executive team. One is that trust between the department and the community it serves must be a two-way street. Another, apathy is the fastest way to deteriorate that trust and minimize your effectiveness as a public servant. He consistently reminds us that when a citizen brings forward a complaint or a concern, we should treat it seriously and respectfully. In fact, being present in that conversation with a presumption of validity not only demonstrates professionalism, but also builds the trust with the community. This presumption should maintain until a thorough investigation shows otherwise. That approach sends a clear message to the community. Their voices matter. Their concerns are taken seriously. Before these wild accusations of corruption and cover-up, the chief has often been praised for this very approach. Unfortunately, the lesson many of us are now learning is a far different one, a lesson that seems to favor apathy over empathy. A world where that presumption of validity can result in your words being twisted and used against you. A world where a leader has to communicate from a sterile, neutral distance rather than risk letting their empathy get used against them and warped into allegations of corruption and dishonesty. But that's never been this chief's style. When he agrees strongly. When he disagrees, he does so honestly. He feels the emotions of this community, and he's instilled that virtue in every member of the police department. The constant targeting of Chief Goodman and the police department over the last year has had significant consequences. It's affected the morale within the department. It's strained the relationship between the officers and the community that we serve. When that trust erodes, public safety suffers. Our officers remain committed to serving this community, and the leadership that we've had has consistently reinforced the importance of accountability, transparency, and trust. I simply ask that you keep that in mind moving forward tonight. One last thought I'd like to leave you with. There is absolutely no light between Chief Goodman and this department. Any illegitimate attack on him is an attack on all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Luis Avila. I'm here to talk about
the mayor's salary. I don't know the mayor personally, but $50,000 to me is a joke. If we want to attract the best and brightest, we have to compensate that person. All right? The position, you know, and I believe it's by design. You want someone wealthy or someone who's beholden to someone else to hold that position, to create chaos. You know, we have a $348 million budget. You know, we can afford to pay a police chief over $500,000 a year in total comp, a city manager of over $450,000. You know, we got deputies and assistants all making over $250,000. We need to invest in that position. We need to hire the right, you know, or elect the right person. It's a full-time job. We should have, key performance indicators that show their value, increase revenue, not through code enforcement, improve services, cut costs, add automation. I looked at the budget. I breezed through the budget. To me, it looks more like a jobs program. There's a lot of fat to be trimmed, and all that fat can be reinvested in streets, you know, reconditioning some buildings to attract business. You know, the mantra should be do more with less. You know, the median income of the residents or median household income in San Bernardino is $67,000. But we've got all this overhead. That money, you know, the right mayor would go through every single budget and trim the fat and reinvest that money in, again, the homeless. Let's help the homeless. Let's help the people that can't help themselves. I know the former mayor was at 143 and you guys decided to cut it. Just because the last mayor was a disaster doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, the mayor's position should not be a stepping stone onto state assembly or you know, House of Representatives. We should want someone that wants to be here, who's well compensated, who has the best interests of this city. And again, key performance indicators should be shown up on this screen every 2 weeks. What are we doing? How are we doing better? Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council, city staff, and citizens of San Bernardino. My name is Joshua Cogswell, and I'm a member of the Police Officers Association with the San Bernardino Police Department, where I proudly served for over 23 years. I'm here tonight to express my support for our chief, our organization, and our continued commitment to serve the city of San Bernardino. Over the past few years, our department has made real, measurable progress. Crime is down, solvability is up, and we've strengthened our connection with the community. But that progress is now being overshadowed by ongoing accusations of corruption and misconduct, accusations that risk damaging the trust we've worked so hard to build. These accusations also undermine our staff's morale. I understand that at the heart of this controversy is an investigation related to the use of the CLETS database. I have no personal knowledge of the content of that investigation. I also understand there are two sides to the dispute. I think it is important to note that both our chief and Sergeant Loera, a highly decorated officer with 18 years of distinguished service, supported a thorough and impartial investigation into allegations made by City Council Member Ortiz. That response reflects professionalism, accountability, and a commitment to transparency, values this community should expect from its police leadership. When I heard the recording of Sergeant Loera, I didn't hear wrongdoing. I heard a leader acknowledging concerns, taking them seriously, and affirming that potential wrongdoing should be fully investigated and addressed if substantiated. That's exactly the kind of leadership we should expect. So I have to ask, why is it being condemned? Recordings of Chief Goodman and Sergeant Loera's preliminary understanding, opinions, or beliefs do not make them true if the facts of the investigation prove otherwise. Instead of being dismissive or protective of possible misconduct, both committed to accountability if necessary. Chief Goodman is the longest-serving chief many of us in the organization have worked under. His leadership has brought consistency and progress to the department. But the continued narrative of accusations sends a troubling message that no level of effort, integrity, or success is enough to rise above politics. Our chief is not a politician. He is a law enforcement professional who relies on facts, evidence, the resources available to him to do his job. The citizens of San Bernardino deserve our focus on the task at hand, public safety. I respectfully ask that you support our chief, support our department, and to support the brave men and women of the San Bernardino Police Department by standing behind the facts and the progress we have made. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
How you guys doing? My name is Ronald McCullough. I'm a lead case manager for Inspire Together. We service youth between the ages of 18 and 26. We also help the community and feed the homeless from 9 to 12. I want to address some things that we're seeing in the street. Recently, our homeless population, they started being arrested just for basically being homeless. They were given an ultimatum, either they leave their stuff or they go to jail. I think it's a waste of time for them to go to jail and be let out the same day. It's a waste of money. We feed them, we clothe them, we do the best that we can, and I just think that they need a little bit more love and a little bit more help. I would like to let you guys also know that we have a serious substance abuse, especially with fentanyl. I have clients who are ready to be clean, but when I called the treatment centers, it seems like it takes a week or two. And by that time, they're already back out in the streets. So I really wish that we can get immediate access to detox and rehab placements when someone is ready. In addition, I need some Narcans. I'm a real case manager. I'm really in the streets. I really do it. I'm really out there. And I hook up with the local gang members, some of the drug dealers, because they sell drugs that they don't even know what they're selling. So these 16 and 15-year-olds out here overdosing. So I have to go get Narcans to give it to them so they can help the youth stop overdosing. It's a really serious problem that we have here. I want to also speak to the reality of what I'm seeing in our neighborhoods. We are seeing open drug use, prostitution, unsafe conditions in areas where families and students are present. I personally had an experience with my daughter. My daughter goes to San Bernardino Valley College, and a man tried to approach her and ask her, did she want to make money to be an escort? That really hurt me. That really touched me. G Street is a whole bunch of prostitutes. They've been there since 2015. It never gets cleaned up. I don't understand why not. Mr. Figueroa, I came here 8 months ago, gave you guys my flyers. I told you guys where our location is. I have not yet seen you at our location. We've had grand openings. We've had dinners for the homeless. Joe Baca's given us awards, and we're in your ward, Mr. Figueroa, and I haven't even seen you at all. Our location is 199 South Arrowhead Avenue. Mayor Tran, I would love for you to come by and visit us. It's always good to get fresh blood, and it's always good to have people who've really been through something to really understand how we can help the streets and how we can help make San Bernardino great. God bless you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and residents of San Bernardino. My name is Nelson Carrington, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight as both a member of the Police Management Association and someone who grew up in San Bernardino. After what feels like more than a year of criticism directed at the chief and the police department, I felt compelled to speak. I've served as a police officer in this city for over 20 years, and I've had an opportunity to see firsthand the leadership Chief Goodman brought when he arrived. He brought a focus on community relationships, public safety, and officer wellness. One thing that stood out to me was how he handled complaints. When someone raised a concern about our performance, he took it seriously, and he expected us to do the same. His philosophy was simple. If someone comes forward with a concern, it means they trust us enough to give us a chance to fix something if it's wrong. But there is something the public should understand. When a concern is reported, communication, it may start out openly. However, if an investigation later reveals that that person may be a suspect, that communication has to change. At that point, the law prevents us from sharing investigative details with them. Regarding the Kletz allegation, and this is important, the chief is not denying that Kletz was accessed. But What the investigation found is that it was not accessed in the way that it was originally reported to him. And that matters. The allegations, these things, they date back years before he was our chief or before he worked in our city. But when it was brought forward, he treated it in the same manner he treats every concern from the community. He took it seriously and ensured that it was investigated. In more than 20 years with this department, I cannot remember a time when our crime rate was lower or this department was more effective. This is huge for San Bernardino, and it should be celebrated. But instead, we're criticized. The constant attacks on the chief in this department, they take a toll on the morale of our department. There is no justification to continue to target Chief Goodman and this department in a way that undermines the work being done every day to protect this community. Our focus should remain on facts, accountability, and supporting the efforts to keep our community safe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Hello, Dolores Armstead. Good evening. I was told to say something positive. So every time I come up, I'm going to say something. I'll start off with something positive. I want to give a shout out to the city parks and rec. Parks are improving. Several parks have been fixed and families are coming back. Parks are an attraction to young families and to businesses, and it will help our city grow. San Bernardino crime is down over the past year. We need to celebrate that and let businesses and residents understand there is a change. Thank you, PD and Code. Work is not done, but you are making a dent, and that's great. San Bernardino is a place to invest your business into. Now, down to business. I see that now you are wasting my tax dollars, or continue to waste my tax dollars, to hire an outside firm to censure Dr. Ortiz. What is your fetish with Dr. Ortiz? You can't stop your hate fest and waste our dollars. What did she do? What was the crime? We don't know. I don't know if you know. What is the investigation about? The only one benefiting are the attorneys. They make lots of money on your stupidity. Dr. Ortiz is our council person. Why are you trying to eliminate our representative? Chief, again, be ready. You're going to be the fall guy for their fiasco. We're sorry to see that, but that's what's going to happen. Council and mayor, what you need to concentrate on is improving our city. We're the major city in San Bernardino. We have no city hall. We have no restaurants. We have no shops. We look like a dump. How can we be the center of San Bernardino County and we don't even have a city hall because of you people? All the cities around us are progressing. They're taking in revenues we should be getting. The Olympics are coming, the raves are here, and we are missing out because we don't have any place for them to go. You have kept our downtown looking like a dump. Why? We had a developer, and you fought him. Not all of you, the older ones fought, 1 through 5. You fought him. The cities around us are profiting like they do now, and that's a damn shame. When will we be updating the specific plan? Before we have more car washes, storages, warehouses? We don't need those. We need homes for the homeless. We need shops. We need hotels. We need downtown improvements. But what are you people doing, 1 through 5? What are you doing? The same. Oh, I know. You're dealing with your fetish about Dr. Ortiz. That's what you're really, really into. And the attorney, he's happy as hell because he's making a whole lot of bucks on your stupidity. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Michelle Mahan, and I'm here to share a message on behalf of myself and a coworker. I'm an off-duty member of the police department, and this is important enough for me to be here on my own time. On behalf of my coworker, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and I've proudly served with the San Bernardino Police Department for over 21 years. I'm speaking in support of our Chief of Police, our department, and our city, because we're all working towards the same goal, a safer, stronger community, and a better quality of life for our residents. I speak with urgency. Over the past 3 years, we've built momentum unlike anything I've ever seen in my career. Crime has gone down consistently year after year. Officer proactivity is up, which reflects strong morale. We've expanded community engagement and focused on quality of life issues. This success didn't happen by accident. It became our standard, something we take pride in every day. While the chief will always credit the men and women of this department and our community partners, I can tell you firsthand that his leadership and consistency have been critical to that success. That's why recent accusations surrounding CLET's access are so concerning. They've had a real impact on our organization and threaten to derail the progress we've worked so hard to achieve. Public claims of corruption and dishonesty, especially when they are mischaracterizations of the chief's own words, damage trust, both within the department and within the community that we serve. Even more troubling, it sends a message that our highly qualified chief doesn't belong here. And if that's the message, then we should all be concerned about the future of this city and our police department. You've been briefed on the facts. Investigations have found that no illegal access to CLETs occurred. Between the police department and Councilwoman Ortiz herself, this has been reported to the FBI, the DOJ, and the District Attorney's Office here in San Bernardino County. All have come to the conclusion that no CLETs misuse occurred. What we're seeing instead is a repeated narrative, one that relies on claims made often enough to sound true rather than facts that are actually true. The reality is simple. Initial beliefs were wrong, that happens, but beliefs are not the same as facts, and it shouldn't be used to define someone's integrity. Chief Goodman has over 33 years in law enforcement, and he's led the 3 departments. He holds advanced degrees and continues to serve as an educator in our community. Leaders of that level of experience and commitment are not easy to find, and they're even harder to keep if they aren't supported. The chief can't publicly defend himself in the way others can, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't be defended. I respectfully ask that you support our chief, stand by the facts, and provide the community with clear information to resolve this communication. Let's be honest, on behalf of myself, 31 years ago when I joined this department, no POA president or chief would have listened to this, and they gave you the benefit of respect and listening to your truth. They deserve respect in turn.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Furo Arasa, and I'm here because what's happening to Dr. Ortiz is not fair. You are moving forward against her in public, speaking as if she has done something wrong when she is the one who came forward, when she is the one asking to be heard. Her trial hasn't even started yet, so why are we treating her like she's clearly already guilty? And that goes against everything we are supposed to stand for. Fairness, due process, and truth. And it sends a dangerous message that if you speak up, you might be the one be punished. That's not justice, that's intimidation. I'm asking you to stop this. Either drop this or wait until the trial is complete. Because no one deserves to have their own name torn down before the facts are even heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Edgar Marquez, and I'm here to speak on one of the matters that seems that everybody's talking about, which is community safety. I'm here on behalf of my community and my neighborhood because the community is a priority that we must keep consistent. We must keep track and know what are our current patrol routines currently and to keep our neighborhood safer. Currently, our neighborhood crime is rising, reckless driving, and I keep calling for more reinforcements, more patrol, but there's none to be shown. My family and my neighborhoods think alike and are definitely need the support. It seems like our police chief as well seems they need more support in what they do. How often are calls being reviewed to ensure the accountability? And by increasing more patrols, this should definitely increase the response of the data and deter a little bit of crime. So I'm asking you guys, just until 2 weeks ago, there was a shooting in front of my house, 10 steps from my window where I was sleeping with my 3-year-old daughter. I'm asking for support and more reinforcements of patrol within my neighborhood. This is a great concern for me and my kids and my family. I just moved here about 2 years ago, and now I'm starting to regret that decision. So therefore, I would like for you guys to please listen to our community, listen to your citizens. And one thing that was concerning regarding that shooting, when I called the following day to call for a patrol, they say they never even had the call, even though I had investigators and a whole shell rounds of casings and the truck that I'm driving right now with the bullet hole driving around. So it's definitely, we need to improve our budget and how we manage our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good afternoon. My name's Ollie Espinoza. I'm here to talk about Dr. Ortiz. It takes courage to speak up, to come forward, to share your experience, to stand in front of power and tell the truth. That it's not easy. Thank you, Dr. Ortiz, for doing so. And yet here we are, watching someone who spoke up be put on trial in the public eye before her actual trial has even begun. That is not right. This is bullying. This is imitation. This is harassment. It feels like you are sending a message, stay quiet, or this could happen to you too. No one should be punished for asking for help. No one should be treated like the problem for speaking out. I hope the judge and jury hear us tonight. I urge you to stop this. Wait until the legal process is complete. Let fairness lead, not assumptions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Hello, my name is Angel F. Huerta Jr. I'm here again regarding the empty cargo container lots. We don't need those. We have warehouses, fine. If you guys are hard up for money, do something like build houses. That's where you have residents. That's where you have eyes to watch out for crime. But you guys don't need empty cargo containers. Junk them. Put them in the metal place. Take them or send them back wherever they came from. They're just bringing crime. They're just there in the parking lot. I see them all the time. There's one off of Mill and Waterman. They're just blithe. There's a waste of time. You guys need to stop making empty cargo container lots, and they're ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening. My name is Juan Vasquez. I'm a member of a community of Rancho West. I'm the president. And I believe the police doing a great job to our communities, especially in the meetings, because we have meetings, and we try to make in our city and our neighborhood better and safety. And many of the lieutenants, the previous ones are here. They help us a lot to come in our meetings and help us to make our safe. Because I know the gentleman is talking about like the shooting in the house. We have the shootings like very often. Until the police coming up to us community and help us to making it better and more safety. And I really appreciate it for everything they done for us. So, our chief of police, they doing a great job to making us like safe, especially when I have meetings with the Coffee with the Cops, and we deal all the concerns about our neighborhoods, because we have a lot of problems with homeless. He like to bring crimes to our city. We have a lot of problems with gangsters, vandalists, to come to crashing cars to steal it. And a lot of people start selling drugs in the liquor store. And the police doing a great job to patrol all these areas and making our city better. And thanks for all the hard work they're doing for us, especially for the Coffee with the Cops. We talking about like those kind of problems we have every step in the city and every step in our neighborhood, and we try to make it a better place. And I know they're doing a great job, and I really appreciate it for every every work and every spend times, especially when they done the shift and they come into our house and having sitting with us and talk to our neighborhoods and how we can make them better. So everything you guys doing here, they're doing good stuff to our city and making more safety. And I really appreciate it for your hard work, especially Councilman. I know we're working together to make it better. And it's very hard when we see like this kind of problems getting to our city, especially the crime. And we try to fighting, and all my neighbors and I, we are really, really enforced to making our city better and safety. And I thank you for all your hard work. And thank you for the police officers and all the lieutenants and the chief of police. They're doing a great job for us to make it safe. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Hello, I'm Keith Nitas, and I'm here to call out this pathetic display of a worthless piece of censorship. We are told that when something goes wrong, we should go to the police, that they are here to protect us. But what happens when someone does that, and instead of help, they are faced with doubt, pushback, and public attacks? That is what it feels like is happening to Dr. Ortiz. She came forward, and now she is the one being questioned. She is the one being targeted. How are the rest of us supposed to feel safe asking for help if this is what we see? This is bigger than one person. This is about trust. This is about the victims who are silenced constantly. I am a victim who's been silenced constantly. Right now, that trust is breaking in our community constantly by this worthless display of a council that acts like a soap opera. You are a city council, not a telenovela. This community sees this. The jury will see this. Stop acting like actors. Start acting like your jobs. You are setting us up to fail again and again. Stop this process and do your jobs. Let the truth come out the way it is meant to, after the trial, not before. There is enough that needs to get done, not this pathetic, worthless excuse of drama this city already deals with. Do your fucking jobs!
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
John Schellenberger. Good evening, council members and members of the public. I'm here today to speak out against your item to be considered. Your upcoming attempt to censure Dr. Ortiz ahead of her upcoming trial is absolutely corrupt. It is clear to us in the community that this is politically motivated by BB&K, Ted, Fred, Sandra, and Kim. You think you can just shape public perception and undermine her before she even has her day in court, which is totally illegal. If you really want to uncover the truth about illegal and unethical conduct, you would have conducted a thorough investigation, spoke directly with the witnesses, and gathered facts objectively. Instead, what we saw was a cover-up by the chief, Lorea, the attorneys, and the council. This is a public spectacle designed to further tarnish her reputation of Dr. Ortiz without due process. This is not justice, it's political theater. And when I hear people defending the actions of the chief because of the crime rate being low, I can't believe that. But for $600,000 a year in salary and benefits, I better see crime coming down from this chief. And we haven't even started about how he filed a claim, which if they grant it, will give him a tax-free pension. He wants to be he claims to have a hostile working environment. He created the environment for himself when he chose to start lying about what he had told Dr. Ortiz. Just come clean, Darren, repent, and find peace. Now, I want to speak to the involvement of the district attorney's office in pursuing this case against Dr. Ortiz. When prosecutions appear to be politically motivated to cover for friends, they erode public trust in our legal system. What you have been telling people, what have you been telling people in the community, Ted? The chief has enough pull with the DA to make this go away for him? If this isn't corruption at its finest, I don't know what it is. So is Jason Anderson another Mike Ramos? I've said that before. The DA still targets the innocent because they have evidence that proves a crime was committed. The timing, the public narrative, and the lack of transparent investigation all point to an effort to sway opinion against Dr. Ortiz rather than a genuine pursuit of justice. I want all residents to hear me now. We must remember that in our system, every individual is innocent until proven guilty. Attempting to prejudge Dr. Ortiz through censure or public condemnation undermines the very principles of fairness and due process that our community and our democracy depend on. This could be you, this will be you and me if we don't stand up and fight this corruption that is unfolding right in front of our eyes. I urge the City Council to reject this politically motivated censure and respect both the legal process and the rights of Dr. Ortiz. Let truth, not politics, be the guide. This is not about the chief's performance. This is about him telling her one thing and then telling her something else completely different.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening. My name is Omar Williams, and I'm running for City Council in the First Ward. And I am just here to say I'm not here to address any of the political drama that's here, any of the noise that's being added here right now. I'm more interested about solutions. Right now, in the First Ward, from talking with residents, they are stressed out about a lot of things that's going on within the ward. Not just within the city, but within the ward itself. There is way too much crime going on right now. With due respect to the police department, I'm happy for them, in terms of like creating things a lot better, but I believe that we can do a lot better in terms of response times and helping our local small businesses having more response times towards local small businesses directed to them personally, so that way when they call, they have situations, things could get addressed a lot faster and they could feel safe to do business. Another thing is our homeless population. We have way too many abandoned buildings, too many lots that are not being used, whether they're owned by private properties, that people are from other counties or possibly other states. We need to figure out a way to get a hold of those property owners, either buy back the property or potentially encourage them to use the property so we can do things for the homeless people, have homeless shelters, housing and things like that. Another thing that I want to address is the ability for citizens to vote for their own mayor, city attorney, and city clerk. That way, we can have the ability to have our own people, whoever we choose to have. That way, the people still have a voice, people have things that they want to get done within the city, and we can actually work together instead of bickering and fighting all the time. So that's going to be my little speech right now, but if anyone is interested, my name is Omar Williams. I'm running for City Council. I'm more interested in working together. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. If you have an idea, let's sit down, let's talk, let's see what we can get done versus what we can't do. Because we could easily argue about things we can't do. Let's see what we can get done and then work towards that. And then we can move forward with the other options. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Timothy Prince. I'm a lifelong resident of the city and a 35-year attorney in downtown San Bernardino, one of the few remaining such attorneys. San Bernardino was in a good light on Saturday. From the top of Paris Hill at the Elks Lodge, we had over 140 people gathered with two candidates for governor, Congressman Pete Aguilar, who's the #3 Democrat in the House of Representatives, and of course, Senator Eloise Gomez-Reyes, and wonderful Democrats in the room. Thank you to our sponsors and all those who attended. It was a beautiful day for San Bernardino. The Charter Review Committee, of which I was elected chair, is meeting on March 25th at 6 o'clock in the old temporary City Hall EDA building at 201 North East Street, top floor. Thank you to the previous speaker who made suggestions, what he'd like to see changed in the charter. We would like to hear from everybody. We're getting a lot of comments in favor of fixing the dysfunction on the council and strengthening the mayor's role. Pioneer Cemetery remains an issue. It's a dilapidated historical gem. The graves are neglected. Our Public Works Director is trying to restore some of the neglect for decades. We're working on that with the Native Sons and the Pioneer and Historical Society. Second Lake needs to remain Second Lake, to respect history, to not distort facts from history. Mayor Seckham was an honorable mayor of this city who had the vision to build that lake. I'm also here to speak on item 25, which is a future meeting agenda item pertaining to Treasurer Ortiz. There's a memo in the backup that the public probably didn't get a chance to see from the council asking for this agenda item. The only way that memo could be generated is by a violation of the Brown Act, that there was a conspiracy amongst the council that's been going on through closed sessions illegally. We saw the conspiracy today. About 15 minutes ago, 24 uniformed police officers got up at the chief's direction and followed the chief out of the room. Treasurer Ortiz did not intend to go after the chief. That was not what this was about. She actually had a meeting with the chief and was sharing this information and concern. This is not Treasurer versus the chief. This is the chief fighting to protect his job and his career, because he was caught in a lie and he needs to fess up to it, and you need to stop being part of his cover-up conspiracy.
Thank you.
Thank you
Next
very much.
speaker, please state your name.
Lydia Sawala. I recently took a look at the city manager's adopted fiscal year 2025 operating budget. And in the section, on page 79, in the section Performance Measures for Strategic Goals and Priorities for Animal Services, there are 4 goals. And not one of them includes the most important and critical goal of all, and that would be reduction of the pet overpopulation. This should be the #1 goal. It is the most significant factor in reducing your budget, which has swelled over 5 years from $2 to $3 million to $9.7 million. And the population continues to grow. I've discussed this briefly with Jasmine, and we both agree the faucet needs to be turned off. Unless someone has a better idea, reduction of the pet overpopulation should be measured through total animal intake. It is the only metric that will validate effective animal control. The failure to include this as a goal just roils me. It is a reckless omission. The department's called animal control for a reason, by definition, to regulate, influence, or reduce severity. The other goal that causes me concern is goal number 4, which reads, the Animal Service Department proactively seeks saving all animals within the shelter. Sounds good. The number of pets adopted is measured for both cats and dogs. The measure in terms of percentage of dogs saved and cats saved for 25 is 84% and 55% respectively. Now, listen carefully. There should be a management letter, perhaps, from Mr. Levitt addressing failures and future plans that reads, these percentages are based on the use of a controversial model and metrics which includes only live animals in and live animals out. It ignores dead animals entirely, which is 50% of the intake, those that came in dead. So, and also there should be a spay-neuter campaign, which I don't see as being visible. We have the paw mission in Fontana. I give up half the day to go there, drop off animals, drive back to San Bernardino, go back before 3 p.m., or pay a $75 fine. If our previous director had spent the entire $1.2 million on the mobile vehicle, we would have a deluxe grand vehicle that could be parked in our neighborhoods to save your constituents the time from going to Fontana. Instead, I understand that only half of that money was spent on the vehicle. So where did the other half go? What's the plan? What has changed? What will change?
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Honorable Mayor, my name is James Smith, a lifetime resident of the city of San Bernardino. I'm a proud graduate of San Bernardino High School in 1961, and I want to thank the leadership here for recognizing their water polo team who won the state championship. Let's give them a round of applause. They were here earlier, and it was great. For the city of San Bernardino, that's what we need to do, is talk about positive things in the city of San Bernardino. And we have a lot of positive things happening in the city of San Bernardino. One is Second Lake, Second Park, Second Lake. And I want to compliment Vanessa at the Park and Rec Department, because what they're doing with the parks in San Bernardino is phenomenal. I know it's pretty pricey, but it's important that we beautify the city of San Bernardino, give a reason for people to move to the city of San Bernardino. And I agree with the previous comments that we need to do something with downtown San Bernardino to make it attractive for people to move here. That's what, as a lifetime resident of San Bernardino, that's what I'm proud of. It's called image. We need to work on the image of San Bernardino. The previous speaker, Tim Prince, is a chairman of the Charter Review Committee, and I think that's an extremely important committee, and we'll be working to, and I encourage you to attend his meeting later this month on the third floor at City Hall to support what they're doing, because we need, and I want to thank Mayor Tran for appointing him, for calling that meeting and having a vote to have him take that leadership and make it active, because we need to all be supportive of the city of San Bernardino. And we also need to support keeping Second Lake and not changing the name to another person. All due respect, I have no bias to minority people at all, but he was the mayor of the city of San Bernardino. The only reason that it was called Second Lake is because he was the mayor. He wasn't advocating that. It's just because he was the mayor. So if that does come to a vote later on, I hope it doesn't. Hopefully they drop that petition to move that forward. Let's work toward keeping Second Lake here in San Bernardino. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
My name is Scott Olson. I'm a lifetime resident of San Bernardino. I grew up on the north end in the 4th and 7th wards, depending on how the boundaries were drawn. I'm kind of in the middle. I now live in the 2nd ward. And I can honestly tell you, thank you, Sandra. I was actually happy when I was put in the 2nd ward, because you have been a wonderful public servant. You've done so much stuff, but you've always put the city first and the residents above even yourself. That's called a public servant. So often, people don't get their way and they attack somebody simply for being a public servant. Omar, great little speech. Okay, Omar is telling you guys, hey, I'm here not to be a politician, I'm here to be a public servant. San Bernardino needs public servants that are willing to put their time and energy into making this city great. I'm very active in the Republican Party and the conservative politics. I know exactly what's up and what's going on. But I'm going to tell you right now, simply being a good Republican doesn't cut it with me. Simply saying you're a good Democrat doesn't cut it with me. I'm going to look at who you are and what you do, because I'm interested in public servants. I'm tired of politicians. I've been in this game for 20 years, and you know, I've seen way more than anybody else. Fred, you wonder why I don't like you? You and I have two different definitions of what a good Republican is. For me, a good Republican is a public servant who puts the people first, not somebody who's constantly trying to be in the pockets of whoever's going to give him money so he can stay in office. And you look at me and you're going to go, but Scott, tell us all about the FPPC violation you were substantiated on. Pay to play. Welcome to Fred's world. Why don't I like Fred? We have a problem in our city with short-term rentals. Fred's answer, ban them. Get rid of them. That's Fred's answer for so many things over the last 17 years. It would blow your mind if you knew the whole list and why. Fred, I'd love for you to explain why you try to get rid of so many things so often. Doesn't matter if it's Wildwood Park for your developer friends or the police department because you don't agree with them politically. Yeah, you try to get rid of the PD. All these guys up here, half of them probably weren't around to see what you did to the police department. You were ready to put rent-a-cops in there. You were ready to put the sheriff in there. You want an example of how Fred believed? Where's our city's fire department? We had an awesome fire department. It was eliminated for political reasons because politicians didn't like which way he went. San Bernardino, wake up. Don't pay attention to who the R and the D is, and that makes him good or bad. Look at who the person is. That's what makes him good or bad. Elect the good person. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Hi, my name is Miriam Nieto, and I want to start off with some positive things, actually. I want to start off with with just mentioning that I am actually seeing some improvement when it comes to the infrastructure and some of the streamlining that you guys are really trying to do on your end with the administrative, Parks and Recs, and also just in the city manager's office. I'm seeing it, and thank you for putting that time and that effort. It's noticeable. I also want to say that two things really came out today from some of the conversations that I'm hearing. One of them is kind of trust blindly, trust without question. And I don't think that that is our job as citizens, as residents, as community members. We should not be trusting blindly and not questioning powers that be. I think it is our job to question everything that is and say, why is this happening? I see it with the flock cameras. We're saying, let's take the word of the police, right? That they are not going to share the data and the information that they get from our residents to the federal government. How are we going to trust what the federal government is going to say or want to do or want to enforce on this little city of San Bernardino? What do we have in place to protect ourselves from that federal government coming after our data and coming after that information? Right now, the police department has an issue with the moral of their department. It's not because of a council member up there trying to say, hey, this is what happened to me. It is because of years of mistrust that has taken place in our own communities. It's because every single community member from San Bernardino can probably tell you an occasion that they called the police department and that they felt like they were going to trust them and the police department just dismissed them. It is because the police department's budget is inflated and the police department has been getting most of the funding that comes from our own very own budget. That's not to account the state and federal budget that they're being received. So again, if they're doing a great job, good, keep doing a great job. That is your job. And it's also because you're getting the resources and the funds to do that. What was worrisome is one of the police officers said, when you go after one of us, you go after all of us. That gang mentality is exactly what we, the residents, fear. What does that mean? Does that mean that when somebody from our own council goes and says, hey, I'm being mistreated, then they say, well, guess what? We're gonna censor you now. Does that mean that when one of us, the public, says, hey, we don't like what you're doing, police, we're going to come after you or we're not going to help you? What does that mean? We need to make sure that you guys work for...
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Kimberly Calvin, former council member for Ward 6 here in the city of San Bernardino, where I was able to witness exactly what is taking place right now. And that is whenever the city council, mayor, city council, cannot find their way out of a hole that they have dug themselves into, what they choose to do then is censure the person who is bringing light to whatever issues and problems that you have. This is not a new trick out the playbook. Actually, I'm sure Jim Penman did it before as well. And when you use either the police department or any other department to weaponize any community member in this city, well, then you weaponize all of us. And that is exactly what is taking place. So each of you, Mayor Tran, who has taken a vote, if you put in your belief, feelings, suggestions to this censure that is on the agenda as a future item, we need to be looking at each and every one of you. Blind trust is what the city of San Bernardino is no longer going to do. Blind trust is not on the agenda. And right this minute, every single constituent that I speak to, I tell them that they have the opportunity right now to change the entire trajectory of the downfall of the city of San Bernardino. And that is by choosing to vote against each and every one of you that is on this dais tonight that is up for re-election. There is absolutely no other way to do this. Simply because I sat with you and watched you do it. Yes, a censure is a way to intimidate a council member. It is a way to defame them against everything that they are standing for, so that you can blindly change the opinion of the community in order to suit yourselves. But one thing about the truth is that it will set you free, but it will also come to light. And that is the day that I wait for with every power, everything within my being. I wait for that day simply because the city of San Bernardino residents deserve so much more. And for those of you new council members who are not operating within your own will, your own thought process, because you should be able to see what has taken place right now. And if you do not, we, the community, will remember.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please state your name.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Lenfesty. I am a volunteer at the San Bernardino City Animal Shelter, and I know a few of you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak again. So I work closely with rescues, helping pull the animals out that are on the euthanasia list. I'm involved in several different programs with that, and I see, unfortunately, the euthanasia list daily, and I transport them to fosters and rescues. Every day I witness animals being euthanized, not because they are unadoptable, but due to lack of medical care and lack of space. Our rescue partners are overwhelmed and cannot keep up with the constant influx of animals. The city has made a commitment to take in these animals and provide care, but I cannot support taking in more animals, whether from our own community or through extended contracts with outside cities, while animals are still being euthanized under our current conditions. We currently have empty kennels sitting unused due to ongoing contract delays, now reportedly extended until May. At the same time, I regularly see 3 to 4 dogs housed in a single kennel. The overcrowding leads to fights, illness, and extreme kennel stress, putting the very animals in our care at greater risk. So I ask, why would you consider expanding intake when we are not fully utilizing the space we already have? In addition, while public programs like spay and neuter clinics, microchipping, and vaccine events are important, they are not solving the root problem. These efforts only work when the community chooses to participate. We must address accountability. Backyard breeding continues unchecked, and this cycle has gone on for decades. Until we enforce stronger accountability through meaningful fines, consequences, we will not reduce the number of animals entering our system. As volunteers and rescue partners, we are doing everything we can, but we cannot absorb the consequences of systemic decisions. If we can reduce euthanasia rates, fully utilize our current capacity, and implement stronger enforcement to decrease intake, then I would absolutely support revisiting the idea of taking in animals from other cities. But until then, expanding intake will only continue the cycle of overcrowding and unnecessary loss of life. We cannot keep managing the overflow without turning off the faucet. We need more space for animals. We need fewer animals coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are no more speakers, and we did receive written comments that have been provided to the mayor and council and will be available on the agenda back up online.
Thank you. I'd like to call for a 10-minute recess, so we take a break real quick. We'll be back at 8:02. Thank you. All right, we are back. It is 8:05 p.m., back from recess. We will now move on to the consent calendar, items 6 to 22. Mr. City Manager, do you have any announcements on any of the items to be pulled at this time?
Madam Mayor and Council, I request that item 22 be pulled and we will move it to the next agenda.
To the next meeting, April 1st?
Yeah.
Okay. So item 22 will be moved to the next regular scheduled meeting, April 1st. Councilmember Ibarra, any polls?
None.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
9.
9? Number 9? Okay, thank you. Councilmember Sanchez?
No polls, but a disclosure for item 14.
14. Councilmember Ortiz?
None.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Number 21, and I would ask of the city manager to, if 22 is being pulled because of a question that I don't really have an issue with the item. It was just, it's a conversation that you and I could probably have offline. It's somewhat related to that item, but it shouldn't affect moving forward with it. And so if that's the reason, I would ask that we move forward with it, if that's the reason why.
It is.
Okay, well then
because we're getting answers for your questions.
Okay, then I would kindly ask that for that to not be excluded from the consent.
Okay, that's fine. And then we'll still get you the answers.
And that information will still make its way over to me then.
Still pulling the item?
Just 21.
Okay, 21. Got
I
it.
I had some questions for 22, but those are, I can direct those directly. I can communicate that
Continue.
directly with the city manager.
Sounds good. Thank you. Councilmember Flores?
9.
Thank you. Councilmember Charette?
Yeah, Mayor, I think I heard number 9 was
Yes,
pulled.
number 9 was
okay,
pulled.
thank you.
Okay. Items 22 by city manager, number 9, 14, and 21 are pulled.
Not 14.
Madam Mayor, yeah, 22, Madam Mayor, that can stay on the consent based on Councilmember Figueroa's.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that's staying. So it's 22. Okay. So 9, 14, 21.
No, not 14.
I'm sorry, what is it? Councilmember Sanchez?
Not a pull, just a disclosure for item 14.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I believe there's several council members that three of you that need to do a disclosure because that's, has to do with Yahavatam.
Okay, so we need to recuse ourselves.
Yeah, and just say, yeah.
So we should just
No,
pull.
it's not a recusal.
I understand, Councilmember Sanchez. I think, Mr. City Attorney, because of a contribution.
Since it's on the consent calendar, if anyone has received money, you could just announce that
Yes.
for the record, but you can stay here and the vote will be taken. You only have to leave the room when the item is pulled.
Thank you so much for the clarification. So I do need to announce that too, that I did receive contribution. Any other council members?
Yeah, I'd like to read it out for clarification and to be well within the bounds of the requirements of the FPPC. So I wanted to declare that I received a campaign contribution exceeding $590 from Yahavatam of San Manuel Nation, while the Levine Act excludes contracts with government agencies, and I believe that the tribe should be exempt as a government agency and as a sovereign nation. I must announce my conflict until state law says otherwise.
Thank you. Any other council members?
Yes,
Councilmember
Mayor,
Charette?
and I, for the sake of brevity, ditto exactly what my council colleague said, Mr. Sanchez, for the same exact reason.
Thank you. Can we have a motion to move the balance? Thank you, Councilmember Charette.
I will
Is there a
second.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Councilmember Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra,
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilmember Charette,
Yes, except for 14.
correct. Mayor Pro Tem Canas,
Yes.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz.
Yes.
Consent calendar balance passes unanimously with item 14, Councilmember Sanchez, Mayor Tran, and Councilmember Charette noting I apologize for that, noting a conflict.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, number 9.
So I understand that the conversation regarding this JPA did predate me coming to council. I just would like a little bit more clarity. I know there was a letter of intent that was sent by a previous acting city manager with the intent to join the JPA. That was in 2024. The item before us is considering it again, to my understanding. If
Yes, so good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. So the item before you is to consider the JPA as a participation. So right now, it's really forming the board. So that board, as you can see in the item, would consist of a representative as well as an alternate that's decided by the city. And so that board will then decide the bylaws and policies of this JPA, right? So that would go into deciding exactly how projects are being funded. A lot of the questions you probably have thinking about this JPA is something that board would have a say in governing and basically producing, if that.
And I guess, I don't know if this is the proper terminology, is the lead agency the county? Like who is?
SCAG.
So it's SCAG, okay.
Yes.
I did need some clarity in regards to the staffing. I understand that the board would be comprised of elected officials from whomever participates in this JPA, and then it also mentioned 2 subject matter experts, so to speak. But are there any other identified staffing?
Yes, so the original the annual cost for the JPA, which is currently right now between $31,000 to $55,000, that would go towards an administrative staff for the JPA.
And that was my next question, because there in the backup, it states that originally there was 19 cities or municipalities that were interested, but that's now down to 9. Is that figure, the 31,000 between 50,000, is that based off the 19 potential interested parties or the now 9?
So that is with the, based off of the current 9. So this number can go down based off of more cities and counties that sign on.
Or it could go up?
Or, well, yeah, it could potentially go up, but right now with the amount of cities and counties that have signed on, this is the range right now.
It seems like more of a potential to maybe go up if 19 originally stated they were interested and that number went down all the way to 9.
So the deadline for everyone to sort of sign on is, I believe, the end of this month. That's what they're aiming for. So there is a potential for different cities also taking this to council this week or next week, following week.
Okay. Do we have any, because I didn't see like who that 9 is. Are we able to know who the interested 9?
Yeah. Chino Hills, Adelanto, Ontario, Needles, Rancho, Redlands, Upland, and the county currently. Councilmember Barr has, I don't know.
Mayor Pro Tem, are you complete?
Sorry.
I think what
Councilmember
you're trying to
Ibarra?
get to, when we first, when this was brought before us, there was a set amount for those 19 cities that wanted to be a part of it. And I think my colleague was just trying to say, out of those 19, now there's only 9. And if because of that, because there's less now, the city now, the cities, the 9 that are still interested in it, they're paying more than what was originally expected when the 19 were there. Is that correct? Mayor Pro Tem?
Correct.
Can I just ask the question? How come there's not a representative from SBCTA to, last time, I believe there was someone here that was
I
talking
don't believe
about the
it's
housing.
SBCTA, I think it's SBCOG.
SBCOG through, with SBCTA. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
yes.
it's all the same, yeah.
Yes.
I'm not, I think they were requesting, I think this was based on our letter of support initially, and then they've asked us to take them forward, but there wasn't, I didn't anticipate that they were going to be here.
Is there any issues if this were to continue so that we
That's what
could
I was
have
gonna-
more
It
time to
could,
have a
yeah.
representative
You can always continue it. I
SBCTA,
mean,
SBCOG
they
to.
prefer the end of March, but you can continue it.
Yeah, I thank you for that, Mayor, because for me, again, being a newer council member and just reading through this, there's a lot of questions that I would
Yeah.
like to ask, and that's why I asked who the lead agency is, because there's a lot to be desired with this. I read through the resolution. I still just can't.
Yeah,
give
it's
a
very
current-
vague right
It
now.
is.
Yes.
Is there a deadline for this, or can it come back at the next regular meeting and have some?
Their preferred deadline was into March, like she said, but you could continue it, and we'll let them know it's been continued to the 1st of April.
Okay, that would be helpful. Is that good, Mayor Pro Tem?
Absolutely. And then I just would like to, ensure that we do have legal opine as well. I understand that this would be a separate authority, but we're entering it on behalf of the city of San Bernardino. So I do want to make sure that we take in regards all legal ramifications into entering such an agreement. There was a speaker here regarding the county project on G Street. We want to make sure that when it comes to certain insurances for projects and things of that nature, that, we are properly indemnified, or whatever that proper terminology is. And I think that would require legal advisement. So I just want to make sure that you guys are part of this process as well.
We have been. One of my colleagues worked with staff on reviewing these agreements and related documents.
Awesome. Thank you. I would like to make a motion to continue.
Thank you.
I'll
Mayor Pro
second.
Tem, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Second, thank you. Madam City Clerk, this will continue to the regular scheduled meeting of April 1st.
Okay, and that was a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Canas and a second by Councilmember Ibarra or Flores?
Councilmember Ibarra was the second.
Perfect. Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Canas?
Yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz?
Yes.
Motion passes to continue the item to the meeting of April 1st.
Thank you. Thank you, Council. And can you guys make sure if someone, a rep from SBCTA with SBCOG be there?
Yes, we'll
Thank
do.
you so much. Appreciate that. Next is item 21, Councilmember Figueroa.
Yes, this isn't really, this is really more of a pull to say thank you. A big thank you to the very generous grant provided to the city of San Bernardino by the Yuhaviatum of Seminole Nation that was awarded to the city back in January of 2024. So I think everybody should be okay with this one, right? I don't think there should be any issue with this one, but this is pretty much to award a cooperative goods purchasing agreement with a company that's already doing work at Nicholson Park, is my understanding, and that later on-site preparations for the site will come at a later time, and it will be at the existing location where the current one is. That's just going to be removed, and we're going to be starting over with that location. And any remaining money, which is about 600 and something thousand, will go to other things at the park as well, like the community center upgrading, the kitchen and other services inside in there as well. And so that will be coming back to us, I guess. Do we have an estimate as far as how long this is going to take for it to be completed? But really, it's just, for me, it was just, I wanted to say a great big thank you to the Yuhaviatum of Seminole Nation for this very generous contribution for Lattle Creek Park. But that was just kind of my question, is what is the general timeline here?
Currently, once we execute the agreement with PRC, with the restrooms, then what we're going to do is we're going to issue 2 on-call consulting services to accomplish 2 things before we install the restrooms. One of them is the ADA path of travel, number 1. The second one is utility connection points. We need to hire also an on-call specialty consultant to determine where all the utility connection points to the new building. Once those are accomplished, then what we're going to do is we're going to prepare a bid document to go out and solicit construction services for a contractor to come in and install the pads and establish the connection points. And then once all that work is accomplished, then we'll have to bring and work with the restroom company to come in and install the unit on site. I don't have a schedule yet at this time because it's a step process that we have to follow. I hope we can accomplish it by the end of this year. That's my goal. On the rest of the improvements, that leaves me, so $25,000 is for the ADA path of travel, approximately, maybe it could be less. The other $25,000 is for the utility design, and then maybe about $200,000 for the placement of the construction pad, and then the placement of the unit itself on the pad. Remaining funds, what we're going to do is I'm going to shift it to inside the community center. The scope of the work within the community center will be as follows. The complete renovation of the appliances inside the community center. We have approval actually from the county because every time you use a kitchen, you have to go through county approval for health, right? So we're going to extend the permit. We're going to install the appliances. There is cabinet work. The floor within the kitchen will be replaced, and then the outside floor will be replaced. Vinyl replacement of the floor. And then what we're going to do is replacement of the lighting inside, outside, painting of the building inside and outside, and create a secondary access to the community center from the parking lot. So that is the remaining work. I hope I can accomplish that within the $1 million.
And that's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for that update.
Yeah.
It's certainly a very old community center, and it needs a lot of help. And so, again, thank you to you, Javier, for the help and support. And we're confident that the amount is going to be able to cover all these things. And so I'm very thankful. It's my childhood park there, and it's so great to see that so many improvements are taking place there as well. And so thank you, Azam. And great job to our parks as well, because that's where we're going to have the extravaganza coming up in a couple of weeks as well. So thank you so much. That's all. I just moved to approve.
Thank you. There's some motions. Is there a second? Councilmember Sanchez, did you have a question?
Yes, it wasn't a question, it was a comment. Juan and I worked on this one years ago. So just know that to do something right, it takes time, it takes energy, expertise. Councilmember Figueroa, when were you and I talking to tribal representatives?
This was in 2023 when we started this conversation with them.
I remember that. I didn't know, I wasn't sure about the date, but we're here now. And so just know that the work we put in today, we harvest the fruit from that labor, not right away, but it takes time, but we'll eventually get there. And I think this is excellent because this is also my childhood park. I'm on the other end, just in the first ward, but I drive by this park pretty often, so I'm really excited to see these improvements happen.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Canas?
Yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you, Council. Moving on to discussion items. Item 23, Amendment Number 1 to the Regional Partnership Agreements for Animal Services. Can we begin with staff's presentation?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present. Tonight, I'm going to quickly go over the amendment to the Regional Partnership Agreements for Animal Services, which includes the cities of Fontana, Rialto, Colton, Grand Terrace, and Loma Linda. So the purpose of this amendment is to ensure full cost recovery and really to eliminate any financial burden that's being placed on the City of San Bernardino residents. So one of the first changes that we're going to be making, when we initially took on the contract cities in July of 2024, we added 31 positions to our staffing levels. However, the problem is that we only charged the partner cities for those 31 positions, when in reality, we really should have been charging them for 100% of our positions. So one of the edits that we have in this amendment is that we're going to be billing for salary and benefits for all 72 permanent positions that we have. That's 70 full-time, 2 of those are part-time permanent positions. We also have 10 temporary staff, and we have 5 per diem veterinarians that we're going to be charging salary and benefits to. There is updates that we're making to the percentage levels that we are going to be charging. And so you can see the biggest difference here is in our own city's percentages. We are moving from 53.5% to actually 70%. So our city does take in the majority of the animals that we have at the city or at the shelter right now. And the original numbers here, they were just based off of projections. So we were looking at numbers from Riverside County, and that's how we came up with these numbers. But now that we have a full year of data where we've been housing for them, we have accurate information now. Okay, and then third, we are going to be adding indirect costs. This is based on the cost of fees study completed by Matrix Consulting Group in January of 2023. And the purpose of adding in the indirect costs is so that we can account for outside city services that are essential to our department. So that would be things like HR, payroll, finance, facilities. So we want to capture those costs as well. And then on top of that, what we'll do is at the end of the fiscal year, we will true up at the end. So we'll basically be looking at making sure that we charged everything correctly for the whole year. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be adding on a 3% consumer price index adjustment. And basically adding on this 3% charge to everything is going to allow us to account for variations in support cost and inflation. I just want to be clear also that the 1.6 is a potential additional billing. This isn't to be confused with revenue for us. The purpose of this is to make us whole, so that we're not ever subsidizing not one dime to other cities who are partnering with us. And that concludes my presentation, if you have any questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Ortiz?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Jasmine. I really appreciate this coming back. I think, as far as when this was first brought forward, as a community member, I was not in favor of this because it lacked this type of breakdown. And so what I appreciate is reassessing, evaluating, recalculating. And even though, our numbers go up, it's good to know where we're at, and then it's being able to reconcile that for the taxpayers and for your department. And so I know, as you were transitioning in, this is something that you talked about and you brought it forward. And so I like that you look at the potential adjustments, inflation, whatever we may need to be able to carry the financial and the physical burden of animals. And so thank you for this, and just please, I think, just continue the great work that you're doing, and the transparency, right? The financial transparency, the partnership transparency. I know that they talk about the regional center coming to Bloomington and what that'll look like for us and what that impact will be, but as we do that, I think we're going to be in a better position. So thank you, and I'd like to move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion second. Any, Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes, I think the first time this came before us, you're asking for an additional $1 million right now? The 1 point?
No, the 1.6 million is what we will potentially that's potential billing that we're going to get from
gonna get
the
from the other
contract
cities?
cities. Yes.
Okay, and I know last time I had asked a question if we were finally getting some of that money, because I know we had to give money up front last time this came before us. So are the cities now finally paying their invoices?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, I do have one outstanding bill, and that's from the city of Rialto, and that's for roughly $166,000.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because I
Yes.
know we were fronting money in the beginning, and so I'm glad to see that it's finally stabilizing. So, thank you.
Thank you. That's our motion and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call for the votes.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Canas?
Yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you, Council. Moving on to the next discussion item, item 24, fiscal year 2025-26 mid-year financial update. Could we begin with staff's presentation?
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. Before you is our mid-year budget request and our report. Which one? Okay, so the mid-year report the staff report included an executive summary, revenue and expenditure trends, budget requests, and our fund balance, and any more activity for the remainder of the year. So our executive summary, what we wanted to show you what has changed since the budget was adopted, is that our revenues are going down. So consequently, as a result of that, under the city manager's purview, the departments have also been looking at their projected expenditures, and that is also bringing it down. So if our adopted fund balance was 108 at time of adoption, and I'll explain later when we have that slide, it's now going to rise up a little bit to 113 million. Okay. So what we're also showing is just what our revenue trends are, way back from 23, 24 actuals till today. As you can see, our projection for the current year is even, still lower than all our prior years. That just is what's happening in the economy, what we've been seeing, any geopolitical effects it would have on our budget. So like I said, likewise, our departments have been very prudent about watching every dollar, knowing that our revenues are going down. So we're also projecting a decrease in those revenues. And again, I will talk about fund balance in general after a couple of slides. I will turn it over to Zuiba. She is going to explain all the mid-year budget requests.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. So for the mid-year budget adjustments, we have just a few before you. For our HR department, we have a split of general fund and liability insurance fund requests. So about $34,000, $35,000 is for both tuition reimbursement and contractual services. This is going to be funded through general fund. And then outside legal for ongoing litigations and investigations, that's $350,000 that's requested, and this would be funded through the liability insurance fund. For our legal services department, there's a slight increase in our BB&K retainer. This is for a CPI adjustment that takes effect in their contract July 2025. And then contractual services of approximately $252,000 for ongoing litigation and legal costs. Our police department has requested 2 items. So the robotic dog, this is specialized equipment that supports some high-risk operational response capabilities. This is to be funded completely through the asset forfeiture state fund, so this does not impact general fund. There's also some personnel restructuring that they're proposing. This is cost neutral, so the changes in the personnel is just really to handle the more operational demands that they have. So the changes in personnel are cost neutral. There's no new impact to the general fund. For our Parks and Recreation Department, there's about $135,000 being requested for part-time salaries. We know our Parks Department is active in all of the year-round programming, and so with some grants that have expired and the department just needs the part-time staff to help require that all-around year staffing and programs to our community. They need an additional $135,000. And then there's some facility operational investments that are being proposed. A pool replacement at the Jerry Lewis Center for $35,000, and then some community center outdoor lighting for $15,000. And this will impact general fund by about $185,000. So in summary, the proposed adjustments before you, approximately $536,000 will come from general fund, and $550,000 will come from other funds for HR liability fund, and then for police department, the asset forfeiture fund. In total, the proposed adjustments totals about $1.1 million to be amended into the general fund operating, or the operating budget.
So when we go back to fund balance, as we've had mentioned, we are requesting $1 million in mid-year appropriations. Approximately half of that is from the general fund, and that is already included in our projection for 25-26. So you were given a correction in relation to the actual fund balance because there was a linking error that was there when we had created staff report. We just wanted to make sure you were aware. And normally when prior to our current city manager, we would show the total fund balance. We would show, where is it, that higher number, it says fund balance. So you see 173, 202, and 178. What we are now reducing is non-spendable, because what we'd like to show you is fund balance that can be converted to cash or something that can be used. Non-spendable means we can't spend it. And normally non-spendable is land held for resale. So it's not really cash that we can use to assign to any projects or activities City Council would be interested in. So that's why we're showing that net. But like we said, there was just a linkage error for the 25-26 numbers. So the staff report might have been showing 137 or 138 when it should have really been 149 and 53 or 108 and 113. I hope anybody have any questions? Yeah, it was just a linkage error on our part. Yeah, so we showed you the revised. So our next proposed activity is the budget workshop. That's going to be held on April 29th, and our anticipated budget hearing and adoption would be on the 17th of June, 2026. That concludes our report. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions City Council may have.
Okay, Councilmember Barra, followed by Mayor Pro Tem.
I might need some clarification here. I think in a previous meeting, we had mentioned about capital improvement projects that we had spent $44 million so far this year in capital improvement projects, but that's not the number I see here reflected on the report. So I just wanted clarification on those figures. It'll be under the fiscal year 25-26 expenditures trends.
Yes, fund balance.
I see only the 2.8.
I think, yes.
That's like 42 million difference.
So I'm sorry, Councilmember Ibarra, what was the question?
There was a comment made at a previous meeting that we had already utilized 44 million towards capital improvement projects just this year without the year ending. So I wanted to clarify why saying 2.8 million.
So what we have before you is just general fund expenditures. CIPs are funded through multiple funds, so it's not just general fund, it's across specialized funds. We would be more than happy to provide a year-to-date report to the city manager to disperse amongst the council to show total expenditures of all CIPs across all funds.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor Pro Tem?
And mine is more just a comment. First, thank you, staff, for the presentation. I'm going to keep on beating this drum, and this is not to our fiscal team, but we really have to have an intentional focus on how we're going to increase the revenues in this city. It is so incumbent upon us. I've sat here before in those seats, continually hearing about cuts. I really hope that we can move this discussion in regards to how we are going to substantially grow our city coffers. But thank you for the presentation.
I have to say, Councilmember, the city manager does try to motivate us to do that. Look for revenue, think about revenue, what we can do to increase it. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I want to say that it's not just a fiscal team effort, and this is where the alignment with our city departments really is very incumbent upon us. It's imperative. I know we still have the role of the economic development director that still needs to be filled. We still have a general plan, a downtown specific plan. We have so much that we really have to get accomplished that really will aid and really just an economic engine that really powers the revenues in this city. And again, I've sat on those seats for many years. I just don't want to be here on this other side continually talking about the cuts. We really have to be talking about how we're going to increase our revenues in this city. So,
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any other comments? If not, is there a motion?
I will do the motion. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. There's a motion.
Is this a
Is there
receive and
second?
file? It's a receive and file. Do we need a motion?
There's
Do
a
we need to pass it?
resolution attached.
It's two. It's a receive and file and a
It's both. So
Both,
this is
and-
there's an action that's required, correct? So there's an action, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Oh, Councilmember Ibarra seconded. Thank you. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Canas?
Yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Council. We will now move on to items to be considered for future meetings. Item 25, authorize and direct outside legal counsel Larson LLP to draft a resolution of censure relative to Councilmember Dr. Treasure Ortiz for illegal and unethical conduct, and to authorize and direct staff to schedule a censure public hearing for the April 1st, 2026 regular meeting of the Mayor and City Council. Is there a motion?
I will move to approve.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Canas?
Yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz? Vote?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so.
You should not vote on this one,
Yeah, okay.
Councilmember.
Yeah, but it would be a no because it's dumb, but okay, thanks.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We will now move on to Mayor and City Council updates. Councilmember Ibarra?
None.
I'm sorry. I was waiting for you to say you said none. Thank you, Councilmember. Mayor Pro Tem?
I just want to congratulate some of the middle schools that are in the 5th Ward for the city championships. I want to congratulate Chavez Middle School. They came in 3rd, and Shannon Hills Middle School for coming in 1st. And then also my alma mater, Cajon High School, who was recently named as one of the distinguished schools. So congratulations and for the wonderful efforts for San Bernardino City Unified School District. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Sanchez?
There is a damaged park playground on the north end of Encanto Park on the west side of the city. And I've reached out to Burtec, who always is ready to help where they can. And between staff, myself, and the representatives at Burtec, we are all working together to remove that damaged playground and potentially identify an unused playground that might be at the city yard that we might be able to replace, or that we might be able to put there as a replacement for the damaged park. So I want to thank Burtec for always being there for the city of San Bernardino and always ready to help when they can. The second thing I have is there's I would say the most beautiful little grocery store, neighborhood grocery store on 9th Street on the west side of town called La Cadena Market. And it's owned by Mr. Singh. And he was recognized here by me and by the council by proclamation as I think, a citizen of the month. And I want to continue to let him know, if he's watching, that we appreciate how much he's invested in this beautiful little market that's really, really well put together on the west side of town. It serves tens of thousands of residents on the west side, and in what used to be a food desert, he put right in the middle of that a beautiful grocery store that serves all these folks. So I want to thank you, Mr. Singh, for your vote of confidence in San Bernardino and opening up such a beautiful shop in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ortiz?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to wish a happy birthday to a 7th Ward resident. We don't want to put out her name for safety, but she turned 103 like 2 days ago. Literally stopped driving at like 95. Still does her yard, like super amazing. And so I know her family are watching tonight, so we just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. And then on the very far side of that, the 7th Ward lost an amazing resident, Moises Vigil. His wife, Lisa Vigil, the son and daughter, Moises and Serena, are suffering a great loss right now. For those of you that go to the Lamplighter up on 40th Street, he was the chef for 27 years. And he outlasted 7 different owners, and has been a real pillar in our community. And this is a great loss, not only to the family community, but also to the Lamplighter itself. And so I want to extend my thoughts and my prayers to his family. I think sometimes, and I got a chance to speak to his wife, who I've known for a while, that in the midst of everything that goes on, sometimes this stuff looks like it's the biggest deal in the world, but truly what it comes down to is we serve a community, and our communities have families, they have feelings, they have lives and jobs, and at the end of the day, none of this really matters, because it's what we come home to. And so Lisa and family, we just thank you. Continue to stay strong. And Mayor, I'd like to close out the meeting in his honor tonight, if that'd be possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Figueroa?
Yes, thank you. It's really just one thing, and that's the extravaganza is returning again to Lytle Creek Park, Saturday, March 28th, and that'll be at 380 South K Street. I understand there will be about 30,000 eggs there, and the fun starts at 12 o'clock. Plenty of vendors will be present. The egg hunt will start at about 1 o'clock or so. It'll be divided up into ages, and so just come out, have fun. It's always a good time. I know I always see the mayor there. A few other council members are there as well with their families, and so it'll be another fun little experience again to have this year. So thank you to our parks for putting that together, and all the staff, the vendors, volunteers who put so much work into putting that great event together every year. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Flores?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On this Saturday, March 14th, I attended the grand opening of Extraordinary Arcade. I was there. It was great to see our city manager there, and I just want to say thank you to staff just being very diligent and working with the business owner so he was able to open up his new location. I know there were some difficulties with his past location, but we're happy to see you grow and expand. And again, thank you to staff. I know there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes to get these things done, so please know that we really appreciate you working with our business community. Later that evening, I attended the 24th Annual AROTC Military Ball for the Royal Valley High School JROTC over at the Doubletree with Mayor Tran, and it was just second time attending the event. I didn't get a drink out of the concoction that they always make, and I'm glad I didn't get to do it this time, but honestly, a good sense of community with these young high school students that are really just just learning these essential skills to grow and develop themselves to be better. Later Sunday on March 15th, I attended the Guitar Center Music Foundation, the Spirit of Community Music Awards night, and I was there to see the pre-show student performances, and I can just say from just hearing the cover songs that our students play here in City of San Bernardino, it's we have some talent here. And just seeing all the success that's been happening recently with like the CIF, our CSUSB cheerleading, it's incredible time to be alive here in the city of San Bernardino, and I'm looking forward to the many more great successes that our youth and our children and our students will have. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Charette.
Thank you, Mayor. Yesterday I attended Coffee with a Cop. We had over 100, I think maybe 105 or 110 people at the event. Again, I have to publicly thank Junior Carrillo for the effort that he puts into getting people to that East District is always very, very well attended. And I want to also publicly thank Mountain Shadows for them opening up their community room for us to join there. That is a closed, gated community, so they made allowances for us to let some of the people that don't live there into the park, and they have a new remodeled, very, very nice community room for their members or for the people that live in the park, and they opened that to us. So again, thanks to Mountain Shadows for their hosting us yesterday. And then last night, I attended the Belvedere Neighborhood Association, where we again discussed things that are going on up in the north end, up near the casino. Had a good turnout there as well. And that is it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. I have some updates myself. March 4th, I attended the Southern California Association of Government, also known as SCAG, Community Economic Human Development Committee, and the regional council meetings. On March 7th, I attended the Inland Empire State of the Women and Empower Her events in honor of Women's History Month. I want to give a shout out to Amy Malone and Mayor Deborah Robertson, who have put that together, a beautiful event. On March 11th, I attended the SBCTA General Meeting. March 13th, I attended the College and Career Day at the Bing Wong Elementary School. March 14th, I attended the San Bernardino Fatherhood 9th Annual Daddy-Daughter Dance. For those fathers who have daughters, I encourage you to go to it next year. I'm going to take my daddy with me next year. It was a beautiful, very intimate, it doesn't matter how old you are. It was so great to see fathers and daughters sharing a moment together. And I attended also with Councilmember Mara Flores, the 24th Annual JROTC Military Bar at the Arroyo High School. March 17th, I also attended the Coffee with the Cop with Councilmember Charette. Great turnout. Huge shout out to the Mountain Shadows community. Amazing. And a shout out to our police department. Always a great Coffee with the Cop events. I also attended the College and Career Day at the Palm Elementary School. And just this morning, because the principal at the Palm Elementary School mentioned that there was a role play challenge today at Cal State, I just stopped by, and boy, it was a second annual grand opening of a STEM lab at Youth Build. The Robo Play Challenge. It was the second annual, and it was 8 schools participating, and turned out there's 3 divisional first place: Palm Elementary School, Davidson Elementary School, and Airview Middle School. So I want to give you guys a shout out. Congratulations, great job. I also attended this morning the grand opening of a STEM lab at the Youth Build Inland Empire, and so congratulations to your grand opening. I want to take a moment. I know Councilmember Ortiz mentioned about moment of silence for Assembly resident Moises Vigil. I'd like to ask that before we adjourn, we take a moment of silence not to recognize the San Bernardino resident, but also pause to honor and remember the brave United States service members who have lost their lives in the recent conflict with Iran. These men and women answered the call to serve, placing themselves in harm's way for our nation. Their courage and sacrifice will never be forgotten, and we extend our deepest condolences to the families and loved ones. We also take this moment to honor someone much closer to home. Mr. Luis Serna Lugo, a dedicated Redwood security guard who helped keep this very chamber safe. Luis was a steady and reassuring presence at our meetings, and his sudden passing is a profound loss to our city family. We also mourn the loss of his son, who passed alongside him. Together, their loss is deeply felt by all who knew them and by this community they were a part of. Luis served this community through his everyday commitment to protecting others. His work mattered, their lives mattered, and they would be deeply missed. In honoring both our fallen service members abroad and those we have lost here at home, as well as San Bernardino resident Moises Vigil, we are reminded that lives is very precious. I ask now that we observe a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. The meeting is now adjourned at 8:54. The next joint regular meeting of the Mayor and City Council and the Mayor and City Council acting as the successor agency to the redevelopment agency and the Mayor and City Council acting as the San Bernardino City Housing Authority and Mayor and City Council of the City of San Bernardino acting as the San Bernardino Joint Powers Finance Authority will adjourn to the regular meeting to be held on April 1st, 2026 at the Feldheim Central Library located at 555 West 6th Street, San Bernardino, California, 92410. Closed session will begin at 4 p.m. and open session will begin at 5 p.m. April 1st, everyone, is not April Fool's, okay? So please be here. I'll see you then. Thank you. Good night and get home safely.